welcome to Canadian Herpetoculture Podcast. My name is Brandon Millisham.
And I'm Kiana Fox. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, it'll take a little bit before everybody tunes in. There we go. It's starting to kick on. We did some branding for our live podcast. If you can see, we got the logo up at the top left-hand corner. And breaking news, grab life by the hemipenes down at the bottom. Today, we're going to be interviewing Billy Rows of Mutation Creation. We're going to ask him a bunch of questions in regards to what he keeps, what he's worked with, how long he's been in the hobby, and you guys can ask questions too, and we'll get to those when we can. So that'll be really cool. See what everybody else has to say and listen to what Billy has to talk about and his experience as a keeper. Hey, Billy.
Hey, how are you?
Not bad. Yourself?
I'm good. How's
the quarantine?
Well, quarantine is almost like my daily life because all I do is work and go home. So it's pretty much the same, except when I do go out, there's not other people around as much, which is good.
I feel like that's what it's like for me too. Everyone's like all depressed and stuff. This is life. This is what I've been doing for months. I'm cool with this. But whenever I do go out, it's just
super quiet.
I went to my doctor's office this morning and it looked like a construction zone. There's big do not cross lines everywhere and it was wild.
Yeah, it's crazy now because even when I go to the facility every morning, I'll go to like Starbucks or Timmy's or something to grab my coffee. And now they got all these plexiglass shields. There's only about like 6 or 7 inches to get the coffee under. It's different. Everybody's wearing gloves now and everything's in bags. No one's really accepting cash. So it's all like TAP. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in place, but, I'm always working. So go to the facility and home pretty much. So the only real thing is when you are home, if you want to go out or you want to do something, you can't. Like, going to restaurants when we go out once in a while, something like, we get to go out and try new food. And it's like, yes, it's awesome. Ain't happening. Everything's takeout. So
that's been a big change for us too. It's like, I guess we're ordering pizza. So I think I'm probably gonna pack on a little weight during this quarantine.
I think everyone is. The snack rate has gone up.
It's okay as long as everyone keeps up with me. We'll all still look normal.
Yeah, it's just for me because I work in construction. A bunch of our guys got laid off just before the whole quarantine, so it's hard for me to find work again, unfortunately. So I'm not sure when that's going to come back up.
Yeah, I mean,
see what happens.
I understand why they're doing it. I mean, it makes sense if the way this thing spreads is because of social interaction. The less we have of it, the less, and the numbers aren't lying. I mean, some countries that just, started to implement the social distancing a little too late, they're getting fucking hit hard, unfortunately. And it is sad. There's still people that still don't understand why they're doing this. And, people's loved ones are dying. People are getting sick. And it's just being selfish because if this keeps going, the government, has the right to do what's best. And if they say, hey, we're going to do this for another month because you guys aren't listening, then it's going to affect them, people's with their businesses, their homes, not making money, just going stir crazy in the house, their kids not in proper education. It's taking a toll, and people just need, like, the sooner we get this over and done with, the faster we can get back to reality. And people are going to lose the summer, and we're going to hear bitching, and it's
I'm
crazy.
going to pool so I can be at my own beach all summer because I'm going to be drunk all summer if we're still in quarantine.
Yeah.
Yep, I have a huge yard, and I'm gonna buy the biggest pool that I can. I'm gonna get big, outrageous floaties, and I'm just gonna have watermelon or tequila-soaked watermelon all summer.
You got it all planned, eh?
I do.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's always good to plan ahead.
Yeah, exactly, like a Boy Scout.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's... I
wasn't a Boy Scout. I was a brownie. I don't know the saying.
Oh, boy. Yeah, so my facilities, it's basically 81, 82 degrees, and humidity's 50 plus. So we're in tank tops and shorts, and it's like tropical all day long. So
that's like when I worked at the cannabis facility when it first started up. You were in t-shirts and shorts, and you put sunscreen on. It was hot as hell.
Yep.
Yeah, you definitely have to be made of something special to be working in those temperatures all the time.
Yeah. Well, thank God we got a lot of airflow. That helps.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how big is your facility?
It's around 1,100 square feet, and I've utilized it pretty well. Like, I remember about a year ago, people would come by and it's like, wow, this is huge. It's, and then I'd put an order saying, or I put a post up saying, hey, I'm ordering 4 more ARS racks to expand. And people are like, where the hell are you going to fit them? Like, where are you doing it? It's just magically, Tetrising the place around, and I got them in. And now I went an extra level higher around the whole place.
I just saw those new racks you got.
Yeah, so
really nice.
Basically I had those custom done because in the same space, just a little bit, about 6 or 8 inches more than my typical ARS rack that holds 70 animals. Now I hold 240. Wow. So almost over 3 times the amount in the same space. So I needed to do that in order to, plan ahead for all the babies I'm hatching this year and for growth. But after this year, I'm definitely, depending where I'm at, I'm either going to go to a brand new, bigger facility, custom designed for my growth now and for future growth. Yeah. Or I'm going to just sort of see after this year, stay where I'm at, and just maybe come down in production, but have more powerful stuff. Mm-hmm. I just like creating stuff, and I am trying to move away from the lower end stuff. Yeah. I am trying to go for that higher end market where there's a demand and not enough. But I still like dealing with the new hobbyist and the people at lower levels because, one, I inspire them. 2, I can give them my understanding and my guidance for them.
Absolutely. My boyfriend, he's just figuring out ball python breeding, and you're one of the main people that he watches. Oh,
awesome.
So, yeah. He's like, I'm going to watch this episode.
No, it's good. I mean, I just love what I do. I always have. It's been a grind, especially the first 6, 7, 8 years. Social media has been, a huge blessing, to be sort of viewed all around the world, as well as people being able to go somewhere to watch. And, people go to my channel, they go to Brian's, they go to all these other different, people's channels, and we're not all the same. We're not all, doing things exactly the same. It's your opinion and what you feel comfortable doing.
Yep, absolutely.
I love cutting my eggs. People, freak out that I cut them. Then they freak out that I cut them with big scissors. You should use a razor like Brian. Why? Why doesn't Brian use big scissors like me? It's because that's his opinion.
I've seen you cut your eggs, and like you do it like a pro. Like you take off just like a little sliver off the top.
Yeah.
Like you make sure the animal isn't there. Like
yeah. But I feel comfortable doing it that way. Yeah. That's the big thing. I've tried a razor before. And with the razor, I'm just not, I'm sort of hacking little tiny slits. And the little scissor, you got to make like 4 or 5 little, and I figure, and the thing is my scissors never really go into the egg unless I have to get the little one. So my big scissors, I just do a little sort of fold, like an origami fold, cut a big line. Nothing's harmed. I hardly hit any veins or blood vessels.
I don't see
and-
bleeders very often.
Yeah,
on those
and
videos.
I feel comfortable doing it that way. If I saw somebody do that and it didn't feel comfortable for me, then why the hell would I do it?
And you clean between pretty much every egg, it seems, too. So you're not cutting it in this big, huge mess.
No.
Like, your setup looks so clean and efficient.
Thank you. Yeah, and I don't pull the animal out. I try not to fuss with it too much, except I do get excited and I poke around a little too much, but I can't help it. I mean,
I watched your monsoon special video.
Yeah,
you were excited as hell, but you didn't go messing with either of those eggs.
Yeah.
You saw it, you checked it, you lost your mind, and away. On to the next.
But yeah, I mean, people go on and they'll message me, oh, you should do this. Why don't you do that? You don't know what you're doing. In 17 years, don't you think I've tried everything or at least attempted to? Yeah. And I tell people, if you feel comfortable using a razor, like Brian's been using a razor probably for 25 years. It's something he's used to. It's something that he feels comfortable doing. Has he tried scissors? I have no idea. Maybe he tried and says, you know what? Fuck, leave that for Billy. I love the razor better. But
you find what works for yourself as a keeper, and you go with the system that you're most comfortable with if you're having successful results.
100%. I totally agree. And even when people ask me for advice, what should I get into? Should I get into these racks? Should I get into this morph? Should I get into that? Should I use coconut husk instead of the aspen that I'm using now? That's totally up to you. What works for me might not work for somebody, in Texas where their climate's different, or someone in Norway or over in Europe, where different. There's so much different things that are in consideration. Effect. Yeah, it's nuts. I just sort of give a general idea, and you do and see what the animal's like. So
because there's especially even in buildings and stuff, your location takes into account of your humidity, your temperature fluctuations, how well you're building your room or your house is insulated. That can dictate different temperature fluctuations.
How far above sea level you are.
Yeah,
there's so many factors, and if you're in a place that's raining all the time, your pressure systems are going to be totally different. Than somewhere that it's not. So you look to get as much information as you can, and then try it out. But I just hate where people assume that, oh, you've never tried, why don't you try razor blade? Like, oh, gee, really? Like, I never even thought of that. Like, I just seen 5,000 other people do it for the last 10 years. Never even thought of that. I just grabbed the scissors and figured that was the best. Like, no, I've tried everything. And I feel more comfortable not putting anything inside the egg. I'm not putting any pressure down.
Yep.
But other people, they love what they do and they love how they're doing it and they feel comfortable doing it. So, there is no right way or wrong way. And then if we want to get into it, we shouldn't be cutting them at all. Let's just let them pip. And if they die, they die. Oh, that sucks. Like, whatever, if you feel comfortable. I don't sit there and tell people, oh, you don't cut your eggs. Oh, you're foolish. Yeah. That is your choice. Just like my choice is to cut them. And
I know people that do both, and I know breeders that do both, and some people just, if they die, then they obviously weren't going to be a strong enough hatchling to
get out of the egg.
Putting the genetics forwards. So I get it. Like, I think being a breeder means survival of the fittest and breeding your best animals, not your half-assed Kijiji rescue.
Yeah.
You shouldn't breed to produce subpar animals.
But also with that too, because you might not be culling all the animals as in killing. Sometimes you cull animals by taking them out of the breeding lines, and that might just become a pet because it might have a slight defect, but it doesn't affect that animal's how it can grow up and affect its eating and everything else. So sometimes it's just pet animals. Instead of
going back to what she said too, I breed to sort of up my game, to get to the next level, to make my genetics better, to be more powerful. Because my collection I've had for 17 years. I'm hyperactive. I have, I need something to take my attention. I need to keep things moving in a forward direction instead of just being the same. Because if I was making the same animals for 17 years without no sort of path to keep moving forward, I'd be bored already.
Oh, absolutely. Like you need to find your goal, you reach your goal, you set another goal. You reach it, you set another goal. You just have to constantly be moving forwards with it. Yep. Otherwise, you're gonna get stagnant and fade out, just like the other 90% of people.
Yeah, and another thing too is some of my animals might be worth $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. I grew there. I didn't start with that. Yeah. That's the level I've sort of got myself over years of learning and growing and investing and holding stuff back and like the freeway. I keep taking it to different directions because that's my passion. Yep. But if somebody only has $300 in this male and $200 or $100 in that animal, and they're breeding it, they're probably breeding it for the fact of just getting the experience. And because my collection is worth so much and somebody else is worth less, doesn't mean that they can get the same enjoyment that I do. It's making animals is just incredible. So no matter what level you're on, I think the creation of animals is amazing, and especially the experience. But where it gets me is they spend nothing and then they want to make stuff like I do. Okay, it doesn't work that way. Like, don't complain when you're spending minimal money or getting, like you said, Kijiji rescues for nothing, or giving them donated, and then you're breeding and you're wondering why you're not doing well, why you're not making $5,000 animals and stuff like that. It just doesn't happen that way. Like, I evolved to where I'm at.
Well, it takes a lot of time and dedication. So because I'm starting with Madagascar hognoses. There's very few captive bred animals in the country. I was lucky enough to have a captive bred clutch last year, and I know of 3 to 4 people who've had clutches in the last 5 years. So that's a stepping stone into a direction of possibly eventually having morphs and different color variations. And
which is amazing.
So.
And if you don't head that way, how are you going to know what's even possible if you just give up on it? I don't understand people.
Well, that's like tokay geckos. Like how many years ago did we think that they just came in their blue with orange spots? Now there's a dozen or more different morphs, and those things have crazy price tags. You want an albino tokay? That is like a 4-digit price tag.
Yep.
That is crazy. And
but people put the time in, right? I mean, they've earned that. And that's the thing is when people say, oh, you made this or you have this, and they get so jealous, or, it's not like I just did nothing and, rubbed my hands together and it appeared. I put time, dedication, lots of investment, lots of work and not hitting it the very first time. And it's so rewarding for me when you hit those goals. Yeah. Like the goal that he did. I mean, it's just like, wow. I mean, there's hardly many people that can say that they even did that. Yeah. And, exactly. It's a stepping stone. And now you keep pushing forward while other people are just trying to get to what he achieved. Yeah. We can't all do the same things. People just think I'm just going to be like this. It's not like that. It's work, man.
Yep. That's why we started a podcast. There's a ton of breeders out there, and I don't need to be known for breeding. I may mess around with a couple things that species that I really enjoy working with, but I'll never call myself a breeder. I'm absolutely a hobbyist. But, hi, I want people to listen to me and listen to my opinion. So welcome to my podcast. That's what I did. That's what I did to be different and stand out from the crowd. I want to be able to talk about reptiles, and I want it to be my job. And so I made reptiles what I do.
Yep. And there's a lot of people out there that I wouldn't want to say they get into it for the wrong reasons, but it's like there's people like yourself that just, if you breed, you breed. If you don't, you don't. You enjoy the animals. You love having them. It's something at your choice, your discretion. If you're going to breed them or move forward or buy more, it's totally up to you. You know, you're not driven because, I have to do this because, I'm not going to keep up with these people. I got to do this. And that, I think so many people put that on their shoulders that they have to keep up. You don't. Just do what you have at your own pace with your own budget. And there's no race. Now, if you want to be a big breeder and you want to be a business like myself, you got to put in a hell of a lot more time and crazy amounts of money to be where I'm at.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
And it's if you can't do, you can't spend a lot of money and don't put any time or effort or have any passion. That won't work. And you can't, just have all the passion and all the time and have no money. You got to find where you're at and just stay there. And then when you make that jump, like what I did years ago, like, hey, I'm going to invest, I'm going to hold stuff back. And I've been investing and holding stuff back for many, many years. And now I'm at a time and place where I'm like, oh my God, look what I've made. This is nuts. Oh my God.
Here's something to be proud of.
Oh yeah, every day. And what's great about the ball python, and I would say other species as well, there's no real cap. So I know in 10 years from now, I'm still going to be chasing something that's 10 years away.
There's going to be new morphs.
It's always changing. And I've done it when I cut all my stuff on YouTube. It took me 9 clutches to finally hit one of my freeway clowns. 9 clutches, 2 years. I finally hit it. Now I have 10,000 different combos I can make over the next, eternity. Like, wow. It's not like I can ever, okay, I've done that, move on. I've finished it and conquered it. It's not a video game where there's an end. Yeah, there's always something to do. And then 3 more genes come into the ball python market in the next 10 years. Well, now I can add those, and it's exponentially crazy. Yeah. So, you take this to where it takes you, and not everybody likes the same stuff.
Nope.
So,
Maddie, we will be posting up some questions in a little bit. Just sit tight.
Yeah.
Get ready to fire your questions. We'll let you know when we're ready.
Yeah. Bet people have a lot of questions for you.
Cool.
Do you remember your first ball python?
Yeah, it was a normal. It was a normal male wild caught right from Africa. It was probably 600 grams underweight. Why it weighed so much is because it probably had about 10 pounds worth of ticks and mites crawling all over it. I don't even think there was a captive bred people captive breeding them back 25 years ago when I first got it. Got it from Big Al's pet aquarium. Went in there and I just saw it, and it died like 6 months later because it never ate, and I would constantly have to pluck out and treat it.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went back to the store, and the guy, luckily enough, told me about Port Credit Pet Center. And they're like, hey, here's a place. I would go there because they're more specialized. And then when I went there, I'm like, what the hell are all these animals? These are cool. Look at this. What's this thing sticking to the glass? What's this? Look at this color. Look at that. It was like, I was amazed.
So what year did you get into keeping reptiles?
I had my first snake probably 25 or so years ago. When I started getting into reptiles, I would say that was probably 23 years ago, because my daughter's 21, and it was 2 years before my daughter. So I ended up getting like bearded dragons. I had veiled chameleons, some panther chameleons, Chinese cave geckos I thought were so cool.
They look really neat.
Yeah, I had like milk snakes and king snakes because they had the color. And then I started getting into the balls. I even had some toads, red-eyed tree frogs. I had a bunch of everything. And then it was about 17 years ago was when I'm like, you know what? I want to get into the ball pythons. I started selling everything off to fund and purchase more ball pythons, because when I started getting the normals and having them, and I just had more of a connection than I did with the corn snakes or the milk snakes. They were always trying to fly around, and it looks like a big worm. No, the head wasn't like a, to me, the ball python was the next level snake without getting into the boas or the big snake looking, because it had the cool head. It looks sort of evil, not just like a milk snake or a corn snake. It's
what you think of when someone says snake.
Yeah, it's more manly. It's like, look at this thing, or like I'm a man. Like, oh, I got to get this. So
they got the beefy body.
Yeah, I ended up moving all those animals, and I miss my nosy bee, blue panther chameleon. He was amazing.
Those are cool.
They were so awesome, the colors, and had a nice setup. And then I basically went in and got into the ball pythons, and that was around 17, 18 years. Oh no, little before that. And then 17 years is when I sort of got into it as a business, knowing that I wanted to breed specifically ball pythons. So it was a transition from 25 years to about 17. So around that 7-8 year period, I had a whole bunch of different stuff, really, was exposed to it. And I'd always go to like Port Credit Pet Center and hang out, talk with some of the staff, see some of this new stuff, and, really, get my passion even more into this, realm of reptiles and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it sounds like you started out kind of just like everybody else.
Pretty much, yeah. Just exposure to it, going, oh my God, I really want to see it. And then once I went to like Port Credit Pet Center, it was just like, wow, man, this is the coolest. This is National Geographic stuff.
Inject the reptiles into my veins.
Yeah, it was nuts. And and then you start knowing, that each species needs certain this needs lights, and I want to get into that. Oh, they're a little expensive and they're hard to breed, and you got to do this. And everyone has its own little sort of like feeding regimen, what they can eat. So it's not like, oh, you just feed everything the same thing. No, different temps, different this, different that. And you just start learning about it. I think that was, something that I enjoy too. Learning about what species do what, and what they're needed, and what type of light spectrum they need, if any. And you're sitting there I remember making all these different aquariums, because that's all we had back then. I have to do this type of, soil for the cave geckos, and then I had to do this for the frogs, and I had to do this, branches and stuff, and then calci sand. That's the only thing that I had back then for the bearded dragons, and had to get posts and perches, and then the light in certain specs. And it was just fun learning and seeing your animals react to the little environment that you gave them. Yeah. So totally different from ball pythons. Ball pythons now, it's like, you feed once a week, you clean, you do this, you breed, and it's quite simple. They don't really have as much requirements as many of these other species that need light and UV. It's calcium on their, dusting crickets. I hated that. Like, I've tried everything.
My existence.
Yeah. And then half the time I'd have to go like 2 days later, you smell something and you go and all the dusted crickets are dead in the water dish. Yep, scooping them out, like, stuff we do for our animals, man.
Yeah. What do you think's changed from when you first started till now? Because I think I haven't been around in the hobby 20, 30 years. So I know mostly of the newer kind of style of keeping, like racks and PVC.
Happy birthday, Brandon, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, for everybody that doesn't know me, it's my birthday today. So.
Oh, is it? Awesome. Happy B-Day. I'm Friday. 2 days from now. I'm the 17th.
Happy early birthday too, Billy.
Yeah. It's definitely changed. I mean, when I first started keeping all my animals, even ball pythons, we were keeping them in tanks. And then I believe I got into a rack system probably 18, 19 years ago when I started buying more. When you only have a pet or two, why have a rack system if you're only going to have one or two? Because I had a whole bunch of different species of animals. So they were just kept in different tanks. The bearded dragons were in long ones. with the proper light requirements, and then other ones were in smaller ones and no lights. But I started getting into the racks, and I don't even believe here in Canada there was even PVC racks. It was all melamine racks, or people would make old school like oak and then shellac it and make them, a nice beautiful piece.
That weighs 5,000 pounds.
Yeah, crazy. And it looked good for the first year, and then everything else it would start, cracking and leaking and bubbling and everything. Yeah, just mold and nasty. But a lot of things have changed. Thermostats, they're getting better, more precise, more stable. The stuff we know about breeding, where before, I think when I first got into, we had that cycle where, October, November, December, you drop your temps, you breed for 3, 4, 5 months, you start raising your temps back up in February, March, and you just bred for those 6 months, because most of the animals that we got were brought in from the wild, and they were used to that climate change from the wild. And then now, I breed all year round, so I don't drop my temps. I keep them in a rack system. I find that the less is more, sort of, for keeping ball pythons. Back in the day, you had, a light. We had, I used to have a red light at night, so it kept the temp up a little bit more, and you could see the animal. It wasn't freaking it out because it was nighttime. It was infrared, or, and then they went into the ceramic heats and all type of different methods. And then now you get a rack system with underbelly heat, put it on a thermostat. You range from 88 to 92. You want your cool end around 78 to 82. You give it, 8 to 10 degrees of fluctuation so that it can thermoregulate. The smaller the spot, the better it is. Just bam. And they're nocturnal. They don't need any special lights. Back in the day, I used to have all my rooms on everything on timers. You'd sit there and use those dial timers. They weren't even digital because they were so expensive 25 years ago. And you'd have like 30 of these things that would click on certain times of the day and then shut off. So you'd create your own light cycle. Now, I don't have one. We're in the facility for 6 to 8 hours a day. So that's the light they get if the tub gets open. But, people got to realize that these animals live underground in Africa. They're nocturnal. They usually come out at night to search for their prey and stuff because, it avoids them from other prey, predators, so they're not prey for them.
And it's not a bazillion degrees out.
No, and it's, I've tried everything, dropping my temperatures. I used to have a night drop. I used to, sort of simulate it when the sun went down. It would obviously get a little cooler, so I would do that with the night drops. I would do a breeding season, cool temps, put everything on a light cycle. I find that it's not necessary, especially now when most of the animals that we have in captivity were bred captive. They're captive bred species that are used to this perfect temps, feeding schedule, clean water, a lot of care, a lot of handling. So we've actually, I think, evolved these animals into a captive bred animal compared to ones that we pulled out of the wild, that they were full of parasites. They didn't want to eat. They were so aggressive.
A pied isn't going to survive in the wild.
No. Some of these fancy colors that we make. Oh man, that's a target.
Me.
Yeah.
Eat me.
Yeah.
Even in the dark, it would just scream, "Eat me."
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're gonna see an albino snack.
Yeah, there's been so many changes. Like even just people. I think the best change that I've noticed over all the years, it has nothing to do with racks or technology or anything like that. It's people going from being so isolated, not wanting to help, and just being, what can I do to make me better? And, let me see other people fail so I can be successful, to now where so many people are using social media to help new people. We still get people flaming people and hi, look at this. Why would you do that? Blah, blah, blah. And people just rip their heads off because they didn't know they needed a thermostat for the heat pad. Because when they went to Big Al's or Petco or somewhere else to buy their first animal, they sold them everything but a key piece, which was the thermostat to control and regulate that heat. And then the poor animal,
important thing.
It is. And the poor animal goes through this burn, or like it doesn't eat because it's too hot, or God knows that poor animal's going through. And they post what's going on. And instead of people saying, hey, you should have done this, or they just rip their friggin' head off. And I understand them being angry, but it's not like the person took it and said, hey, I'm going to put it in the oven and burn the thing on purpose. Like it was an accident because they did not know. But now there's so many people who want to get into breeding, they can watch YouTube, they can see this. There's so many different people that is willing to share and help people become more successful, which is the best thing. Because to me, the first 7-8 years, I failed miserably. Nobody helped me. If they did help me, they gave me advice that screwed me over. And now social media, you can see people that love it and see people that are so into this for more than just creating animals and making money. They love it. They like to learn. They're doing it with their family, friends. So many people are making friends now because of this. And you can share stuff.
That's Brandon and I met.
Yeah. Back then, you couldn't say, hey, what are you doing this year? I'm doing this, because then everybody else would do it and screw you over. Like, and then it'd be like, what? You were afraid to say anything of what you were doing or what you had, because people would just try to duplicate it and screw you over and make more, or make the same and charge less than you did. Like, what the hell? I shouldn't have said anything. Here, we're sharing constantly. And I think it's so amazing how, we always had a reptile community, but I don't think we understood what community meant back then. Now it's a community. It's sharing. It's people liking, inspiring others, or showing something, or, hey, don't do this because this happens. Oh, wow, cool. I was going to do that. You're saving somebody else from the what's the word I'm looking for? The mistakes, or the crap that you just went through. Because if it's going to happen over and over, and I know that, why can't I share that with people so they don't have to lose a season or go through that traumatizing effect? We open the eggs and they're all deformed and kinked. It's so much sharing and knowledge. I think that is the best thing that's elevated. And I think.
Oh, I think we froze there.
We had a lag there for a minute.
Yep. Really became part of the Matrix for a second.
So, yeah, I mean, I love the way the community is and people sharing, and it's like I put a thing up on my Instagram the other day. How hard is it for me to give a shout out to somebody? I open up my mouth and speak. Hey, shout out to this person. Hey, here's a shirt. Thank you. Blah, blah, blah. Go follow them.
We got to send you a shirt, by the way.
For sure. It takes 5 to 10 seconds. And that person out there is like, holy shit, Billy just said my name. Oh, it changed their whole day.
Yeah.
It's something so little at no expense to me.
Yeah.
I didn't have to, go out of my way. I just open my mouth, or I take my camera and I go over my amazing sticker ceiling, and someone sees it. It changed their whole day. Oh my God. It's not fucking hard. I hate how people just, it's always, just do things for other people. It's not hard. Yeah. It really isn't.
We do a lot of merch trades, just like stickers, stuff like that, and that's been like, it promotes everybody. I paid a couple bucks for a sticker. It cost me like $1 to mail it. Whatever. Have it. If you send me some in return, awesome. But you're gonna post a picture of it probably, and someone's gonna see it, and that gets us a little bit more support. And it's just. That's the sense of community that we have now.
Yep. Yeah. And it's funny, like the stickers. I mean, I had stickers, I guess in 2011 and 2012, I made little mutation creation buttons, little pins, buttons or pins.
Those would have been awesome.
I still have some. I have some kicking around, but I handed them out. I don't know what they cost me, but I think I got 1,000 of each. I had the eyeball. And then I had the white with the small eyeball with mutation creation. And I got a couple thousand of those, and I handed them out for free to the kids or people that wanted them at my expo, at expos and stuff. And then I think 2014, 15 is when I got into the stickers, just the circular eyeball. And I was handing those out. I think I handed out 3,000 or 4,000 just for free. And then I would send them off with people with shirts. Now I have a whole bunch. And when you get to my level, awesome. I do too. I love them. But the funny thing is I have a sticker set now. I have 11 stickers. Those stickers, just to get them all 11, I think they cost me like $4 or $5 my cost just to print those stickers. Like that 3-inch logo of the eyeball, the hologram one, I think that cost me like 80 cents a piece. And I had to go buy 500 of every single sticker. So I'm spending thousands of dollars getting my stickers. And then if I just handed them out and I had to send out 2,000-3,000 of them because everybody wants one from Mutation Creation, now I'm spending $5,000-6,000 just. I don't need to promote myself anymore. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I don't need to spend $5,000 and just hand it all out. Spending $2-3 and $5 sometimes to send it overseas. I do it because people want it, and I charge for my costs and doing everything, and I get it out there. But when I first started, 2-3 years, I handed stuff out for years. So I ate all mine and spent that money into that. But I mean, I'm sending out 200-300 a week, but now people are paying me for it. But because, I mean, I think I deserve that. And I'm not making much money off of it. I'm saying, hey, here's the packages. It's professionally packed. Here's what you get. And I get free marketing from it, but I've earned the where I'm at. But like you said, I've done that where I've handed it out for years and years and spent thousands and thousands doing it for free. Now I'm at so many. If I was handing them out for free, I'd be spending $20,000-$30,000 a year just in postage. Oh yeah, I can't do it. It's not realistic at that point. No, but when you buy animals from me, I mean, I send you stickers and shirts. I throw stuff in for free, and I love the support. But people like somebody said it like, oh yeah, the big breeders shouldn't have to, shouldn't charge. Well, when you start handing out like, 300, 400, 500 a month. Yeah, it all adds up. Yeah. And never mind the cost of the stickers, the envelopes. I use a printer and have everything printed. Or imagine the time if you had to handwrite everything 500 times and then spend $600-700 a month. I mean, I make great money, but I'm not going to spend $20,000 a year just, handing free stuff out. I can't do it. I'm a business.
And that's what a lot of people don't realize is like the time, the money that it takes to do all that kind of stuff that you do include and that you do send out. And that's what a lot of people don't realize is the time and effort that you are putting forward to get those products to the people or breed the animals and stuff like that, because people aren't seeing your sleepless nights or whatever when you're worrying about clutches or you're trying to get babies to eat. So that also takes into account in prices and animals and stuff too. So when like people are trying to, I'm not sure if this happens for you, people try to take you down on price on something. I'm not sure how you would react to that.
Well, it depends. I mean, like I'm the same way. I mean, we're all human. If it's something out there, I've messaged somebody. It's like, but I don't insult them. They want $2,750. I'll say, hey, will you do 2,000? No, but I'll do 24. Perfect. Yeah. Don't go. Will you do 1,200? Well, fuck, that's less than half price. That's an insult. You're not gonna get a message back. You're gonna get ghosted. But I mean, when you people think that, hey, you get to my level. Yeah, I make great money, but the money that I make, it's also in comparison to my expenses. I mean, I'm spending over 6 figures a year just feeding rats. That's my cost. Over $100,000 a year just to buy rats. Never mind my space, my staff, advertising, stuff that I have to buy things in bulk. Like when I buy coconut husk, I'm spending $4,000 or $5,000 at a time to get a skid of coconut husk. Yeah, it might last me 4 months or 5 months. Yeah. But they don't realize, like, hey, when I buy my stickers, I can't just buy 20 here and 20 here and then make 20 more. I go buy 500 of each. So 500 times 11 stickers, wow. And then spending hours putting all 11 together and then printing it off, typing in the names. It's hours and hours and lots of money. But I handed stuff out for free. It's not like I just said, hey, I'm getting into the sticker game and everyone's going to pay me because I deserve it. I'm Mutation Creation. No, I mean, I've handed out thousands of dollars of material for years and years and years. And now I'm at the point where if I had stuff for free, I can't give out 10,000 because that's how many people want. And I have 37,000 followers on different platforms. Yeah. So if I had to give one to, all 35,000 people, holy shit, that's a hell of an expense. Like, holy geez, like,
If anyone wants a chance at winning some free stuff, we have a contest on our Facebook page right now. It's a pinned post at the top of the page. We're giving away some shirts and some stickers, so go check that out. Because you can get free stuff from us, because we're not famous like Billy. We're just little babies.
Yeah, but it's good. I mean, I was there. I mean, I started out where everybody thinks, like, I woke up one day and I just, holy fuck, look at my collection. I mean, I worked my ass off 17 years, and I made a lot of mistakes, made bad investments, bought wrong animals from the wrong people. I mean, everyone's going to go through a lot of stuff I've gone through. Yeah. But if you listen to what breeders like myself, other people out there, or you get into the community and really, find out those people that really give a shit about you, you'll be able to spot those, or listen to what we said and spot those people that are going to take you for a ride.
Always check out the Board of Inquiry.
Correct. Oh, there's a $2,000 proven breeder pied, rated breeding season, but it's worth $2,000, but they want $1,000. Here's my money. Like, yes, come on, man. Like, it's just not reality, And then they wonder why they sent money to this person and they never hear back because he's got deposits from 30 people, and you all get screwed. Yeah, and you all get screwed. It's you really got to do your due diligence and buy not because of price, buy because of the animal, the quality, and the person behind the animal. And unfortunately, people are not going to, listen to that. And then they're going to realize after the second or third time they get screwed, like, wow, if I didn't get screwed, I'd actually have an animal from Billy or Justin or Miguel or Brian, or, I can name 1,000 breeders. Yeah. It's not what you save, it's what you get. Yeah. It's easy to talk about it, but people just have to do it. And, a guy came in and he listened to me, but he wanted to buy some animals. He went somewhere else, got screwed up, lost $500 or $550. He came back and said, I'm buying from you.
Yep.
End up spending like amazing money. But, unfortunately, there's people out there that will spend money and they didn't have the money. They can't afford to go, I just lost $500. Oh, let me just pull another 500 or 1,000 and buy the right one. It's horrible that people get taken advantage of their hard-earned money from somebody scamming, but they're scamming people because they're throwing an amazing price out there. Yeah. That's a red flag. You know why I don't sell my $3,000 animals for $1,500? Because they're worth $3,000. Yep. You want to come talk to me and do a package, or I'll do 27 or 25 shipped, depending on how many I have or what the demand is. There's a reason why there's a market value and a price that people have on these animals.
Yeah,
and you're not going to get scammed. You're going to get exactly what you want. I can tell you how I made it or where the parents are. I stand behind the products. You're not going to get that buying animals at half price. You really are not. Mm-hmm. If you even get the animal in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. And good breeders are going to back their genetics too.
100%.
And generally, if they missex an animal, they're usually willing to fix their mistake or, work out a deal so everyone's happy. So you're not going to find that from a, Kijiji breeder.
No, unfortunately. But now I'm not saying people that sell on Kijiji are no good. You just have to watch. Like, if they're on Kijiji and they're not on Facebook or Instagram, that's a fucking red flag.
Huge red flag.
You know what? No. You know what I mean? Like, hell no. I want to see something. And that's the thing. Social media is such a visual concept that, and I tell people, especially getting into this, if you have an animal and you're watching the animal and you want to buy it and you can't go and see other stuff, you want to feel comfortable with that breeder or that person. So if you build your social media slowly, whether it's 2 animals or 1 setup, but over a year, when you keep adding and taking more pictures, you've got a year worth of photos that I can look through. Even if it's not high-end stuff, I can just look and go, oh, this person's been around for so long. Yes. wow, look at their setup. And what really excites me the most is, holy shit, look, they had melamine racks. Oh shit, now they got ARS. You can see their growth or their animals, or it's so good when you see people with like melamine racks and you're like, oh, cool, I remember those 20 years ago. Wow, this is awesome. And you go through and it's like, oh shit, there's an animal on eggs. Oh, fantastic. So they've actually, been where I have and made a first clutch. Now it's game over for them, because if they weren't hooked then, now they're definitely hooked, right?
Now you're
now you're screwed.
The reptiles.
You're screwed now. And then you get to see the hatchlings, and I had my first sale. So it's so amazing to see people, evolve from buying a snake in a tank to, getting more to a rack system, to actually getting eggs. And then eventually one day they may go ARS or freedom breeder. But it's amazing to see their journey just through flipping through photos. Yep. But if you don't have those photos over your journey, I don't feel comfortable sending you my money. I don't feel comfortable sending you, oh, he's got 20 amazing looking snakes. I don't know what his room looks like. I've never heard of this guy. Are these even his damn pictures? Because they don't all look the same. Yeah. There's so many red flags, especially when people are selling 3 or 4 animals. Each one has a different background with, one's a beautiful picture, one's a shitty cell phone one. And that's not even the same background, dude. Like, that's just another red flag.
Yep.
Like,
that makes sense.
It's so crazy. But people just sit there and, get hooked. Oh, it's half price. Let me buy it. Let me throw my money at you.
Yep.
Oh, stop it, guys. Stop.
When my boyfriend and I moved in together, he was terrified of a corn snake. And
throw him under the bus right now.
It's okay. He's watching, so I don't care. He was scared of all my snakes, and I had a big boa who was particularly food motivated, let's say. So he would strike at the door when my boyfriend would walk past. So he's like, he still won't touch Bo. But Bo's harmless to me anyway. But he just wanted to check out ball pythons, and ball pythons aren't my thing.
It's not everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I love the colors. I think there's some really beautiful patterns. They're not active enough for me. So I had never really gotten into them, but I know a ton of really good breeders. So I was trying to point him to really good people that I knew personally that were local. He wouldn't have to deal with shipping while he first got into it. I told him, these are some good genetics to get started off with. If you don't want to shell out all the money, you can start off with some hets, grow them out, and then produce some really cool stuff in a couple of years. But it'll take longer for your project to get off the ground.
Yep.
But you're still setting your goals and meeting them, and then setting your next ones, and constantly moving forwards with it. So I think he does great. I'm proud of him.
That's awesome.
He got his first racks.
Oh, wicked. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how you see where someone starts. Like, I even remember where I started. I still have the pictures. I put a post up a long time ago of where I first started, and then 5 years later, and then 10 years later to now. Holy shit. Like, it's so amazing to see where I came from. And I'll never forget where I came from. And I use a lot of the stories and the bullshit that I had to go through to sort of, share my experience with people. And it's the same thing, just a different date. I was scammed back then, just the way the scammers are scamming you now.
Yeah.
It just doesn't change. It's just the time and date does. That's it. But there's still people out there trying to rip you off, and they try to rip you off by giving you an animal at stupid pricing. And they just give you everything that you want so that you put these blinders on and you just chase the line.
You just become hyper focused.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And it's like, wow, stop it. I mean, if you do it, you're going to understand, like, fuck, why didn't I listen to Billy or this person or that person? Like, damn it. I can't believe I fell for it. It happens. I had it multiple times. And don't feel stupid if it happens to you, because it happens to more people than they admit. Trust me. It's embarrassing, but that's reality.
Yep.
And one of the best ways to avoid scammers is post on Canadian Board of Inquiry.
Have you heard of this person? Or
just be like, hey, has anyone dealt with so and so? Are they good or bad? And if the person comments and they get offended by you asking this, then red flag. ignore it. Like, peace out.
And
But,
I mean,
like,
if people put a poison, and the thing is you can make up your own, your own, what do you call it? Too much coffee. When someone puts a thing up and there's 20 good comments and 2 bad ones, you can say, yeah, maybe those 2 people, there was something wrong. I mean,
sometimes shit happens.
I'm not going to have everybody saying, oh, everything was perfect. I mean, but if it wasn't, I tried to correct it. Yeah. There was a thing that I posted with this person. I'm like, okay, bring the animal back. I'll take care of it, and this and that. It wasn't even my fault. I mean, they had it without any heat for 3 weeks, and it got a respiratory infection. And then, it's like, wow, I'll take the animal back, but it wasn't convenient because they were getting married and I wasn't in town and my schedule. I
actually remember that post.
Wow. I mean, I tried everything.
That was crazy.
And you know what? And most people were saying, oh, dude, man, you went way beyond what I would do.
Yeah. And you were beyond amicable.
Just me. And, blah, blah, blah. And, people saying they always had a hard time, returning animals. I don't do refunds. I never had, because my animals are great, or I work with somebody. Not every one of them that I feed live, when they go over to frozen thawed, some of them really don't switch over to frozen thawed. So I've switched the animal, or I've taken them back for a couple months and switched them over to fresh killed to transition them, and that's worked. But I'm here to stand behind my animals. But if you put something out there, I'm not going to have 1,000,000% perfect. I mean, there's going to be people that have bad things or always have bad things to say because of something. But if you see that and 80% or 70% are positive, then make that decision.
You're probably safe to go with it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you know what? I mean, I do things my way, and I'm not going to change it. I love what I do and how I do it. I feel comfortable. I think it's the best for my animals and for myself. I can sleep at night doing what I do. I'm there for my customer support. And if doing it the way I do doesn't keep somebody happy or them pleased, then I tried everything that I feel comfortable doing and above and beyond. And if you can't satisfy that one person, they just can't be satisfied.
Yeah, they're just bitching to bitch.
But no one's perfect. Like, I mean, I'm nowhere near perfect, but I feel good at what I do, how I treat my animals, how I feed, how I clean, how I go through my system, how I feed them. I had one person, some female, I don't think I've ever sold her an animal. Oh, Billy power feeds his animals. He power feeds his animals, blah, 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 blah. How would you know? First of all, I only get deliveries once a week. So I can only feed them 1 time a week, every 7 days. And I do feed them a little bit larger, but that's recommended by most breeders in the world.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm feeding a hatchling, a small, that's 5 times too big. Yeah. I'm feeding it. I did a live video on it, and it actually helped out a lot of people.
I saw that video, and like the meals look totally appropriately sized, and if they eat, they eat. If they don't, then
they wait till next week. I don't have a choice because I don't keep them hanging around the facility.
I think your system's reasonable.
Yeah, but I mean, how would you know I power feed? And the funny thing is my females, here's the tip if anyone's out there, I feed most of my breeder females a medium every 2 weeks. So they skip a week. Or I feed a small every single week, and I change my diets up. So there'll be like a 3-month period where I'll just feed a small every single week, every week, and then I'll give them a week off, and then I'll do like a medium every 2 weeks, and I just change it up. Yeah. So most of my animals don't even get mediums. Mm-hmm. And there's other people feeding it a medium a week, and I'm getting fantastic growth. They're not getting over fat. They're building at a great pace over that 8-month period after they laid. They're back to breeding size, and it works very well. And I mean, I had 227 clutches last year, so it's not like the animals aren't building back and I'm not getting small clutches either. So
no, I've seen you have like 10 egg clutches.
Yeah, most of them are. I think last year I averaged 7. So a lot of 8s and 9s, a couple 5s and 6. But I mean, it's just something where I love how people. Oh, Billy power feeds. I can't just go to my garage or in my backyard and just it's time to feed them every 3-4 days. But if for hatchlings, if I had that, I probably would feed them a small every 4 or 5 days. but I don't have that option. And if that's what you call power feeding, then that's what I would do, because I do think it's healthy.
What's what's your average size of a hatchling that you hatched out?
I don't really weigh the hatchlings. I weigh my eggs. So a lot of people say, why do you weigh your eggs? And I'm like, well, because I want to sort of know, what size. I try to shoot for 90 to 100 grams per egg. Mm-hmm. That's what I usually average. Now, once they absorb the yolk and once the egg's gone, they probably lose maybe 20% of it. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But I would say a proper hatchling is anywhere between 70 and 90 grams out of the egg, to guess.
That's a good size.
Yeah. Yep. And then you do get your little runts and your twins and, those little ones that are like, oh, man, how am I supposed to feed this little thing?
Your boo bag hatchling.
Oh, it's crazy. But yeah, but it's so cool seeing the little runt grow and then they catch up and you're like, holy shit, this was the runt? It's so nuts. Like sometimes they even get bigger than the other ones. It's like,
what's the general prey size you use for your hatchlings?
Your
hatchlings, prey size.
Price size?
Prey.
Prey size. I said price size. I'm like, what the hell is a price size?
I moved my mic a little closer.
I don't do pinkies at all.
Yeah.
I used to do pinkies. Now, pinkies, when you look at them, it's probably the perfect size for the hatchling. Mm-hmm. The thing is over the years, I have probably thrown out more pinkies than I have ever fed. I think there's no fur. I think the movement, they just lie there on their back and go, squeak, squeak, squeak. Just, they do nothing.
Yeah.
And people are going to probably make fun. Hey, Billy, do that impression of the pinky again. So, but I do a rat fuzzy because it has the hair and it's a little bit bigger. And then once it takes it, and I was amazed because somebody else showed me. Because I used to do pinkies all the time, and I wasn't very successful at it until, a few weeks later. Then I could get them on the pup because I thought going right to a fuzzy was too big. And I'd go over to his collection, and I'm like, dude, your snakes look like sausages. What the hell are you feeding them? Oh, I feed them. Like, you can't eat that. I'm like, are you telling me, or I'm showing you they can. Yes, they can. Yeah. I'm like, wow. And that was probably 12 years ago. And the breeder showed me, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's amazing. Let me try. 80% of my animals would eat that week instead of 40%, and me throwing out hundreds of dollars of pinkies. I do think that the fur and the movement, they sort of move a little bit and scratch around, and, they don't just lay on their back and tweak, back and forth. Yeah. And like I showed in the in my video, no problem. And my animals, it almost gets them to a good feeding response right away. Mm-hmm. And I've never had any issues, and I have never looked back.
They immediately know what to look for.
Yeah. And I do think the movement and the scent. Now, if there's an animal that's really small that, obviously a fuzzy won't work, I'll try a pinky, but I don't really like doing pinkies. I like fur. So I'll go to a mouse or an ASF hopper, and I'll try getting them a few times. Once they get a couple meals so that they get that food response and know how to eat, then I'll try a rat fuzzy. If it doesn't, then I go ASF or a bigger size hopper and let them go. But then I constantly always try to get them on a rat fuzzy as fast as I can. But you might need, a month or so full of rats or ASF pups or fuzzies in order for them to start getting that weight and the confidence to eat. And then you go to fuzzy rats, and it works well.
Yeah, I've heard similar things with some other species of snakes like chondros and stuff like that, because the heat signature in a bigger prey item is easier for them to see.
Correct.
So sometimes pinkies is just not enough of a heat signature for them to notice that it's actually food.
Yeah, it could be that. Point. It could be the fur. I don't know. All I know is I'm so much more successful, and I always thought it was the hair. I never even thought about the heat, because bare skin isn't going to have as much heat as something with a hair on it.
Yeah,
that's actually a good point. See, I learned something today, which is amazing.
Yeah, I learned that too.
That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
And with my hatchling hognoses that I produced last year, I was having troubles trying to get them to eat and stuff. I tried various different things because I thought they might eat lizards, frogs, and all different things. Turns out they liked fuzzy ASFs. So, because they're pretty small snakes, they're
Yep.
hash really long, but they're pretty thin. And they took to those no problem, but they wouldn't take to mice or anything else. So it was live ASFs, and it worked great for me.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing is people need to try something. Try different ways. I mean, if I didn't go to that gentleman's house and see him go rate the fuzzies, I'd probably be throwing out hundreds of thousands of dollars a year of friggin' pinkies because that's what I have to do.
Yeah.
Try things and let your animals tell you. You be the judge. Once I saw the difference, I'm like, wow, I'm saving money. My animals are eating. They're growing faster. Bye-bye pinkies. I'm never looking back because I tried it. I saw somebody do it. I'm like, wow, I tried it. Amazing. But if I didn't get the same results, I'd be like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to go what I feel comfortable, the smaller meal. But the action was, wow, it was perfect. So I'm like, why stop? So I tried it and I saw for myself. I made my own decision. And, everything isn't set in stone. The way we keep things, the temperatures, who knows, in 10 or 15 years, we could have more scientific or other people saying, hey, we should be keeping them cooler. You never know. I mean, we change and we learn and we evolve. And if everybody thinks there's one way to do it and you have to do it this way and it has to be on this bedding and it has to be like this, you know what? You're so closed-minded and it's sad. It really is. I mean, do what's best for your animal. I mean, if my animal likes this and your animal does that, why do it my way if it likes it a certain way?
Yeah.
It's do what your animals are telling you they like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Every animal's different.
Yes. And if your animal's thriving and you're having success with the way you're doing it, then you're doing it right, even if it's different than what someone else is doing.
Yeah, there's so many options in bedding, in way you feed, size. There's some people that feed a very, very small meal 5 days a week, and they give them 2 or 3 days off. But I don't have that option, so I don't know how it works. But I've heard many people take on that new, and it's like, hey, you know what? That actually makes sense. They're feeding a little bit smaller meals, and over the 5 days, it's pretty much the same or a little bit bigger than the small I would feed. And I give it one big ass meal, and I give it 7 days to digest it and shit it out. And here's another person giving it smaller meals for 5 days, and they're getting probably better results or the same results. Which one's better? I don't know. I haven't tried it, but it does make sense. And as long as the animal's eating and growing and thriving, who cares if it's once a week, every day, or once a month? Like, your animal is going to be your best judgment of what you're doing and what your goals are. And you can visually see it or try different ways and choose. Yeah. You have a choice. People think that they have to do it a certain way, and it drives me nuts. Well, this person said I have to do this. Well, he's a moron. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, wow. My animal's going to tell me what they want and what I'm going to do, not some guy in another country that's a big breeder. Yeah. I don't give a shit what he does. I want to see what my animals do. Because if I listen to him and my animals aren't eating and they're dying or they're not breeding or I'm getting slugs,
then something's not working.
Yeah. I mean, figure it out for yourself. Like, it's with all the information out there, try things. There's some things out there that are just ridiculous. Oh, you want to breed your male? Shove them in a freezer for 20 minutes to get them frozen cold, and then he'll want to move around and screw all your snakes. That just sounds stupid. Whether it works or not, I'm not fucking doing it. Like, use common sense as well. Yeah. But I mean, not everything out there on the internet's right, or some people are out there just giving you bullshit garbage. But think about it and see, hey, and just like on the BOIs, look at what's there. You make a judgment call. Yep. Simple.
Make an educated decision with the information that's presented. I guess we should probably go over some of the comments that we've been getting. Some of them are from half an hour ago.
Sorry, guys.
I just wanted to talk.
We got James. He's like, hi, Billy. Wondered if you have any advice for someone looking to get an asphalt, but worried about being missold, keeping ball pythons for a year.
Yeah, asphalt's one of those genes that I love. It's one of the things that I'm mostly known for. It's tough, and I've seen so many people sell asphalt / yellow bellies as asphalts or yellow bellies. There's a reason why they're sold as asphalt / yellow bellies, especially for most breeders and even like myself. I gave up trying to identify the two. They're so similar. And when you add different genes, sometimes I've sworn this one's going to prove out asphalt. No way it's not. There's no way. I would have bet money and I would have lost because I got ivories. And this is from someone that's produced hundreds and hundreds of them. Yeah. I gave up because 70% is, if you're not 100%, then you're zero.
It's not good enough.
It's not good enough. And I'm not, the only way if I ever sell an asphalt and it proves out to be a yellow belly is somebody switched it, or we mislabeled it, or it was sperm retention from an animal from before. But that's the only way. I have never had somebody call me back and say, "Hey, Billy, that asphalt you sold me was a yellow belly." Never had that, and I probably sold more than anyone in the world. Mine come from super asphalts. Now, if you do breed an asphalt, a true asphalt, to an animal without yellow belly, then anything that looks yellow belly-ish will actually be the asphalt. So that is a good way. But like I said, in some genes, it's really, really hard. Like especially with some enchi. Some enchi, you're like, oh, I don't know, is that an asphalt enchi or is it just an enchi? Like, wow, because some of these animals we get right now have other stuff laying inside of the genes, or there's other genes that we don't even know they have. If they're het, there's a lot of expressions, and some animals now have amazing flamings. Like, oh my God, it has to be yellow belly. But there was no yellow belly. It's just an amazing, amazing example. Yeah. So we're making stuff that, is so great in quality that we assume that there's these other genes that are affecting it, but we just have an amazing, amazing quality animal. So if you're going to get into asphalt, buy from someone that makes them from super asphalts. There's many people now that are doing that. There's a lot of great breeders out there that you can, go behind and they'll stand behind their animal. So yeah, that's the best way. And even if I have, like I said, an animal that I produced from an asphalt pairing that wasn't super to an animal, and I sold it as an asphalt because it had that asphalt or that yellow belly characteristic. And if it wasn't, I'd definitely be there to, compensate for that. But most of the ones that I sell are from super asphalts where there's no denying it's an asphalt. That's the best way, especially when there's so many genes involved now, like 3, 4, 5 genes. It's so hard to tell some of the genes and some, and you start seeing a lot of this stuff like Orange Dream, Fire, Enchi, this, possible that, possible this. And
so you have to prove it out.
Yeah, and I'd rather see somebody put the possible instead of saying, no, it has to be this, and sell it. I'd rather sell an animal that's 5 genes for 3 genes with a little bit more on top because there's another 2 genes, and that person takes it and gets the 5. Holy shit, they feel like they won the lottery. Amazing. Yeah. But if I sold them as 5 and they only get 3, they just feel like they've been duped. You know, like, oh, fuck, I got ripped off. He knew. We don't know. I mean, there's a lot of, like, you think us big breeders know everything? We don't. I mean, the bigger we get, the more confusing we get with some of this shit. It's tough.
We have some 100% het black xanthic, possible het pied.
Yeah.
If it proves out pied, bonus.
Amazing. Right.
Either way, I have the specific genetic that I wanted to begin with a little bit possible extra, and it can make our end goal, period, right then and there. So
yeah, well, just like that, like het pieds. Okay, if you have an animal that's a het pied, and you can see the ringer and you can see the visual, the markings, if it came from a het to het, that's a 66% het. Yeah. I don't give a shit if I can see it, and I guarantee that it's gonna. I'm selling it as a 66%. I'm probably going to have a little bit of an add-on to it because I'm pretty sure it's a probable het pied, but that is not 100. I will never sell an animal from a het to het, even if it looks like a pied. Oh my God, look, it has everything you want. It's still a 66%, but because it has that extra, beautifulness and the ringer and the neck, I'm going to add a premium, just like people do with pieds. Oh, I have a high white pied, and then I have a pied that's perfect. Why is that $100 more? Fucking look at it.
Do you see the white?
It's the same thing, but it's the quality of it. So even when you do that, if I would never guarantee, even though I would swear up and down it is a het pied, because everything's there telling me that it is.
Yeah.
If the pairing was not 100% pied,
Yeah.
or a visual pied, that pairing or something, I would never guarantee that is 100% het.
Yeah.
Even though I would swear it would prove out, it's a 66%, and I'd ask a premium.
Yeah.
You never want to sit there and guess, because Ozzy Boyd said it the best. He's had visual animals that proved out, and then he's had ones that had no marking that you would swear was a normal, and they proved out also. So it is a marker, and we tend to go by it, but I don't think it's the entire end all.
It's not the final say.
It isn't, So if it is from a pairing that's 66% het, that's what you sell it as.
Yeah.
But those will sell faster. Or if you're holding stuff back, I would hold that one back for my own to prove out, or to have, because it's an awesome animal.
Mm-hmm.
And I need that extra het pied female. I would hold that back over one that didn't have those markers.
Yeah.
But don't get into adding stuff or assuming that your eye is go by the genetics. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
this one here, it has to be yellow belly. What do you mean has to? You're guessing. Don't guess. Say probable or possible yellow belly. If you don't 100% sure, fucking don't put it down. It's going to bite you in the ass.
To do.
Yeah.
It will bite you in the ass. It really will. Oh, he sold me this and it didn't turn up. Wow. I'd rather you sit there and go, Billy sold me this, and like, wow, did I ever score? Like, wow, you get a lot more out of that.
Yeah, makes more sense.
And it's not like you're getting an extra $5,000 on the animal. It's an extra couple $100 to throw your reputation under the bus. Horrible. Like, stop.
We got a comment from Mark. He's like, what's your thoughts on the spider morphs?
I've been working with spider now probably 13 years. I don't have as much as it as I used to, because there's so many other genes that are out there. I still work with it. I think it's amazing in Orange Dream and Yellow Belly and Calico. There's so much potential with it. I just would not, especially starting out, I wouldn't base my whole collection on it, or majority of it. If you want it and you want to work with it a little, have the spider gene in your females. The reason why I say that is if you have a 5-gene animal with spider and you breed it, you're going to get spider in every single female. So if you're going to breed 10 females, whether you like it or not, you're getting spider in 10 of those females.
Yeah.
If you have it in 3 of your females and you want spider, put the genes you want into those clutches, and then you're going to hit some spider clutches. You're not using a male that's going into multiple females.
Everything.
And you're going, oh, shit. Oh, man, I got 5 out of 7 spiders. This sucks. Oh, the next clutch, I got 3. Wow, I just made 40 spiders, and I only wanted to hit 5. Well, you used the wrong male. You want to put the spider in the females. But, I mean, when I first got into it, it was so new that most of the animals that we made, there was severe wobble. Like, it was so horrible because it was so new. And it was line bred back to each other. And, now it's so sort of watered down a bit where, the wobblers aren't so bad. It's just a preference. I am slowly phasing it out, but it'll never 100% be out of my collection. I've worked with it for a number of years. I still have spider piebalds. I have spider cinnamon piebalds that are breeders. I still like making cool stuff with it. A lot of people sort of pushed it to the side. One day you're going to make a combo with spider that's going to blow everybody away, and everyone's going to start wanting spider again. I mean, I doubt it, but you never know.
I have 2 snakes with spider in them. One's single gene spider, and he is like, all over the place. Eats, shits, whatever. He's all good. He's just a little drunk bastard. But then, and he's pet only. I won't ever breed him. Yeah. Because he's a dizzy little asshole. Right.
And that's a good thing too. I mean, some people, I'll just keep doing it. Spiders are known for that.
Yeah.
If something has that visual, if it's that bad, don't breed it. Be responsible and have it as a pet. Yes.
And then we have a female bumblebee, and she doesn't have any kind of wobble at all. So she gets the hemis.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, and that's your discretion. Like, you've got to do stuff and feel comfortable at the end of the day. You know, if you know something is really bad and you do it anyways, and it's like, why? I mean,
then
know.
you're just one of those bottom of the barrel breeders.
Yeah. It's like, you know, but I mean, don't let it, if you like spider, I mean, I've been lucky enough to have it for 12 years or so before this whole, spiders are bad, we're banning them from all the European shows, blah, 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 and people jumping in on it. I've enjoyed them more. It's one of those things that took my few genes when I first started and put it to a whole new level. It's what really put one of those genes that put the fire underneath me to go, oh my God, look what we can do. Yeah. Because when we first saw the first bumblebee, I was just like, wow. Like, it was right up there with the piebald. Like, oh my God, look at this thing. Like,
it's hard to believe that they were comparable at one time.
Yeah. It was just like, wow. It was so incredible. But do what you like. I mean, if you're having a collection and you want spider and everything, do it. But if you're going to do it and sort of breed for the market, you sort of want to stay away from too much spider, because it's always going to be out there. Yeah. Just the demand and people getting into it, like the new hobbyists. Oh, I hear spiders this. Yeah, it is bad. It does have neurological problems, but some are good. They're still there. I breed. There's a few people that breed. Some people don't want it at all. It's just a choice.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's something that you love and you see some combos, like I love the calico bumblebee, yellow belly stuff that I have, and it wouldn't look as nice, and it wouldn't have that white saddle and that line down the back if spider was not involved.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm keeping them. Oh, it has spider. I'm not going to grow them up. I fucking love them, so I'm keeping them and I'm going to breed them. I mean, like, that's just me. You don't like it, then tough shit. I mean, I think they're amazing, and when I post them, people go, "No, wow, my God, that's incredible." Yeah, it's because of the spider. So. You just got to sort of pick where you want to be with it, but I wouldn't go too heavy in a collection, especially starting out. And if you are going to breed, put it in the females, not the male, because that way, if you don't breed the female, you're not getting spiders. If you're breeding the female, you're going to get whatever the odds are to get the spider out of that female and female only, instead of the opposite. Like I said, with the male, you're going to get spiders out of every female. And
yeah, that makes sense.
And then you wonder why, I got so much of this and nobody wants it. And you get depressed and like, this business sucks, or nobody wants my animals. Well, not with spider in it, and you have too many. Yeah. I mean, but you did that yourself. Correct. So you don't want to put yourself, and that's another little bit of advice. If there's something you don't want to make a lot of, don't have it in your male. Have it in select females so that you choose what to make with it. Not that it's going into everything, like, oh shit, I got it in everything. This sucks.
Yeah. But that makes absolute sense, because you have more control over it that way.
And believe me, I've done it. I've had animals where I'm like, well, it's got 6 other genes, but it has this one I hate. No problem. I'm going to miss 7 out of 8 eggs. Like, really? Like, are you kidding me? Like, wow. Like, come on, man. Like, you just get kicked right in the nuts, but it happens, right?
Yeah. We got a bunch of people saying hi from Australia.
Oh, cool.
Few places in the States. We have a gentleman who's watching from Israel, which that's pretty cool.
Someone from the UK as well.
Yeah. Awesome. I love the UK. I was supposed to be there actually last 2 weeks ago. The Doncaster show and COVID-19 stopped me from going.
Every show in existence.
Yeah, but I was really looking forward to go because I had everything planned. I had some breeders, big breeders out there. Gavin from Balls to You, and Paul from Urban Constrictors was going to go do the shots of their facility and do a meet and greet and go to the see how they do their show out there and just meet a bunch of people. Really looking forward, because that's another thing at my level that I get to enjoy to do now. I get to utilize some of the monies that I make and put it into stuff that other people can't do. So it's not like I'm just sitting here banking it going, oh, cool. I put a lot back in. And
you're putting it right back into the community.
Yeah, into the community, into seeing people. I get into travel, meeting other people with the same, hobbies or the same interests as me. It's awesome. If I can go and inspire people and shake their hand and give them some love back for all the support that they've given me. Why would I not? I mean, it's amazing. I'm consumed by this. This isn't just a business. I mean, this is my life. I mean, I literally spend every waking minute of my day doing something with helping somebody, designing something, buying, figuring out my goals for next year, or breeding things, giving Austin and them shit for not doing something or for forgetting to remind me, cleaning, breeding, feeding, social media. Like it's overwhelming, but it's, something that I love, and I can't see myself doing, doing anything but what I'm doing.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Vinan from Canadian Herpetoculture, he's been one of our biggest supporters, and he's like, if you want to do this, do it. Chase your dream, do what you want to do. And I was like, okay, I'm having a podcast about reptiles.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
That was it.
I met him for the first time at the
WCRE.
Yeah. And that was awesome. Yep.
Yeah, I seen you. I was there too. I seen you there.
Yeah,
I was
awesome.
That guy holding a taggy with the mullet.
That was actually when Brandon and I met too.
Yeah,
awesome.
One of the few times. Yep. Another question here is a hot topic. What's your opinion on hybrids?
I think they're super cool. I don't know much about them, but I've seen some of the stuff. Some of them are just wicked. I know there's a few breeders here. Peter Williams is one. And I believe Juan de Guzman, Ballistic.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing some too. And it's great because they posted it. Hey, look what I'm doing. Don't like it. Don't care. Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, more people should have that attitude. Like, if you want to do something, and that's what I hate about social media. If you want to do something, it's something you want to do. Who gives a shit what other people say? Like, if that's what you want to do it. If you want to post it, post it. But you will get flaming. You will. I mean, it's not everybody's cup of tea. But if it's what you want to do, who am I to say that you shouldn't?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing something and 90% of it's going to drop dead and die, or it's bad, then don't do it. I mean, why try to push something that can't happen? But I mean, some of the stuff is just amazing looking. So, I say hats off to guys like that post it and don't care. I mean, who cares what other people say? It's what you want to do. And, I mean, I don't know too much about it to the point where I don't know if everything, works. But if it's something that works and can be done, then why not?
Yeah, it's like probably 4 weeks ago or so, I seen this Carpondro. That thing looked crazy.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh, it was
I mean,
so
that's
cool.
something that's been done for a number of years. Now, I know 10 years ago, if you said hybrid, like, you were fucking blackballed. Nobody would talk to you because that's, social media, and, it's a total different game than it was back then. You even mentioned you were going to do something like that. They'd be calling the fucking authorities on you. Like, oh my God, like, wow. I mean, it's totally different. Everything's evolving. Not everybody's going to be, hip and cool to what you're doing. Everybody's got their opinion. People think that we're bad for keeping animals and breeding them. Okay. Good for you. Like, I'm not going to stop because you don't like it.
Yeah.
Sean mentioned that Don Patterson does Carpondros. We're actually going to have him on the show later this month, so we'll be able to ask him about that.
Awesome.
I didn't know he bred those. That's cool.
Yeah, neither did I.
Don has some crazy all types.
Oh, yeah.
He's always had like stuff from Europe and stuff from the US. Really cool, crazy stuff. Green trees and all types of carpets back in the day. You name it. Don's
he's got a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
The cool thing I think about hybrids is, you're going to get a hybrid because when people are trying to sell those, they're like, hey, this is what it is, and it's mixed with this. So you're usually guaranteed to get that animal, and they have usually a hefty price tag.
And
so
they look
not
pretty
everybody's gonna buy them.
distinct, too.
Yeah.
Like, if you're so stupid that you mistakenly buy a hybrid, you're dumb.
Something's wrong. Yeah, I mean...
Like, I'm sorry, but they don't look. It doesn't look like a ball python, and it doesn't look like a blood kind of thing, or like a burn ball. Like, it's not a ball python. People, like, if you're buying a hybrid,
do your homework first.
Yeah,
You're probably putting it into, the wrong size enclosure, and then you don't have a thermostat on that heat bulb that you have that's supposed to heat the tank, and has a big screen at the top that all the hot air and the humidity just flies out. Yeah. Oh, you need a hide? I didn't know that. Yeah.
It would be interesting to see how those hybrids, what their exact care requirements are when you're mixing these animals that don't live in the same regions.
But you know what's good about nowadays is if you had that, you could reach out to somebody that was in that, and they would share that information with you. Yeah. Like with the scaleless ball python. Back then, when they first came,
topic.
But I mean, people are sharing. I mean, Daniel Allison from I was gonna say, oh my God, wow, I always do that. It's right there. Daniel Allison, constriction addiction. Wow. Okay. I mean, he shared his whole thing about what it needs, and he, Brock Wagner as well. They basically said, hey, we did this and we did this. It's better on this instead of this. You should do this. Can't keep them too moist. I wouldn't feed them live. This is what happens. And they gave you a guideline of if you want to get into this, this is what is recommended because they've tried it. So they're helping you take an animal that you really like and giving you a path to sort of follow, or some sort of guidelines to how much care is needed. And it's amazing. So with these hybrids, you can call someone, and I'm not going to say, oh, just do whatever you want. They're going to guide you because they understand what you're going through, what you don't understand. They're going to help you understand it, or give you some sort of generalization of what you're looking at and what's needed for the animal to thrive. And that's what's amazing about social media and the community now is so many people have finally said, you know what? I don't give a shit what people are thinking. This is what I'm going to do. You don't like it? Screw yourself. Don't watch. But they keep doing it because they don't fit there, like, oh, I can't do this, or I can't share this with the world because everyone's going to jump on me. People have grown balls and stepped to the plate, which is amazing. Yep. And that's what I love about this is, and like I said, that's the best thing that's happened to the industry over all these years is people don't fall under that category. It's like, I got to be quiet. I mean, this is what I'm doing. You don't like it? I don't give a shit. And it's so many people should be doing that. And, I got to be light the way I say that. You can't be doing everything, but, you can actually sit there and take what you believe in and walk forward and be proud of it and keep your head up high, regardless of what's out there, because I do things that I think is great and I still get hate. So you're not going to keep everybody happy. And if you do, you're going to be chasing, you're going to be going, you're going to have no path. You're going to be, oh, I can't do this anymore because of these people. And you're going to be fucking all over the place. You know what?
Yeah.
Do what you want to do. If you feel comfortable doing it and you know what's the best for your animals and you're not so pig-headed, like, the way I'm doing things now, I may change. But right now it's the best. If I see something else that's a new product or somebody telling me a new way to do something and I try it and it works, well, I'm going to try it if that's what's the best for my animals.
Yep.
So
we'll go back to some of these comments here. Sarah Foy, if you have a low white pied, would you have a better opportunity to get more white only if you bred it with a high white, or does it really matter?
No, it doesn't matter. It's random. So I prefer my my low white pieds because I love the look of them. So when I'm making combos, I want to see the color and the pattern and what I designed in that animal in bulk, not just a little spot. Like, oh wow, I did it.
Like with the spider ball pythons, it's just a little mark on the head.
Yeah, but I've turned that and I've put 3 other genes in it, and it's still cool, but it just changes the head.
Yeah,
but I like, because I went through that phase. I think I was the first in Canada to produce in 2010, the first spider piebald. And I've been dealing with all white pieds and just the heads. And I've got a lot of black pastel pieds that are breeding for the last few years. So I've dealt with the high white, really cool, but that's over and done. Now I want to see color because I've been in that realm for 7 years or so. Now it's time to say, look what I got. Look at the colors. Look at the pattern. Look, I get more of it.
It's like Stacy Lauren from Pastel Dream Morphs. She is like 5,000 gram pied, and it's low white, and it's one of the nicest looking pieds I have ever seen. Ask for pictures of Piedzilla, everybody. It is like the biggest ball python I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've got 2 pieds, and I think they're both over 5,500 grams each. They both lay like 10 to 12 eggs.
Wow.
So my one girl, I think they're definitely over 5,000 grams. Haven't weighed her yet, but she was bred to the super mahogany het pied. So hopefully I'm going to hit mahogany pieds, and then everything's going to be mahogany het pied. And next year maybe even later this year, I have a chance to actually hit a suma pied. But I love pieds. I think they're awesome. But unfortunately, low white to low white doesn't make low whites, and high whites to high whites make high whites. It's just a random thing. I mean, as far as I know, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm correct. But, when I breed stuff, I don't sit there and try to say, I'm going to make low whites. I just want to make pieds and color to them. But I'm pretty sure it's a random.
Okay. Ken Dodd, Billy, what's your views on the fader gene?
Something I don't really know about. I believe I have 1 or 2 animals with fader, and it wasn't that I purchased them on purpose. I got them in a collection. I don't know. There's a lot of genes that people ask me about. What do you think about Rio and Arroyo? I've heard them. I've seen them. I don't know if they're allelic to stuff. I don't know if there's a super. There's so many genes that I don't know of. And that's another thing that's good too. There's so much that I do know, and there's so much that I don't. So I'm always learning here and there. If I decide to look, like if I go Google fader, I'll start learning more, and I'll start asking some other people. But I don't know too much about it, unfortunately. I know it's out there. I can't tell you if it's if it adds color, or if it pulls it away, or if it makes stuff fade like calico. I'm not 100% sure on that. Okay. So it's something that's good because I'm always learning. There's always stuff out there, even at my level, to still learn and grow as a person, or in this hobby. Because I don't know everything. And if I did, I'd be bored as shit.
Oh, absolutely. That's what's great about the hobby is you usually learn something new every day.
Yep.
Even if it's with a species of animal that you've been working with, example for you, for 17 years.
Yep.
So Mike is wondering, what 3 codoms do you think are must-haves?
Mike, my man. 3 codoms. See, like, that's another loaded question because my likes might not be likes for other people. If you want stuff for monetary value, certain genes will bring in more money than other genes, but other genes might look better. If I was to say, I would say Enchi, I would say Orange Dream, and I would definitely say like Yellow Belly or Asphalt. I mean, but that's also something that I love. I have so much of it. I love it in Clown. I love it in Pied. I love it in Lavender. I love it in my freeways. So it's sort of like a my preference type of thing. But you can't go wrong with any animal that makes a super. That the super, you don't care if you have it in all your animals. Because if I had Enchi, Orange Dream, and Yellow Belly in every single one of my animals, I would never complain. Yeah. I would never complain because I can just take that and add 2 of these genes to add some color, do this to take some pattern away. They're very strong and they work very, very well together. And if you had a super Enchi, super OD, they're just incredible. Add some Yellow Belly for color. You wouldn't want a super Yellow Belly because it'd be all white. And then it'd be possible this, possible that. But but that's partial to me because of what works with me. But Yellow Belly and especially Asphalt now, it's very similar. But Yellow Belly in Pied is a must. Yellow Belly in Clown, it's the new must. Yellow Belly in Lab, Yellow Belly in Ghost. Yellow Belly has been around forever. And it's so underrated, and I'm glad I have a shit ton of it because it just, the flaming, the colors, look at some of the most amazing animals out there, like even the Pompeii. Yellow belly gives it that flaming, and it's needed. I mean, so if I had to say 3, yellow belly, asphalt, Enchi, and orange dream, for sure. But then there's so many more.
There's so many genetics that you can use.
But those are my personal favorites, and they work with everything I'm going in. Enchi into Pied brings pattern back. Enchi into Clown takes it away. Gives it cool head stamps. They all work so well together. That orange dream with Enchi and yellow belly brings the colors out, the bronzes, the reds, the golds. Just three amazing genes.
That's really cool.
Out of so many, I could, I could say something amazing about every single gene. So.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's just awesome, and that's why it's so great, because there's things that we haven't seen. Like in 5 years, it's like, remember you said orange dream, Enchi, and yellow? You should have said this one. I'm like, yeah, shit, because what someone's gonna do with it, and put it in and start, building and taking it to certain levels where some people just don't like it, pass it to the side. Yeah. So many people do it. I'm guilty of it many times. But now it's just working and having the genes you like with those other genes, and eventually, you create something that's just mind blowing, and it's probably because of that one gene you just sort of pushed to the side years ago.
Yeah. We got Danny, and he's shut out from Bali, having my coffee, listening to Billy, and his passion on display. Thanks for having him on.
Awesome. Thank you, man. That's so really great. Cool. I love it. Indonesia.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's awesome.
Sean Berg, what's your opinion on a communal tank if it's enormous? For example, 16 by 4 foot by 6 foot for 4 ball pythons. That's kind of a good question.
It is a good question. It's one that I don't think I can answer. I have never had any of my ball pythons live communal, except when I breed.
There's a lot of risk there.
Yeah, there is. I mean, for me, if I'm telling people not to put animals together, one is because if it's usually a male and a female. That male is going to be sexually active, a lot younger than the female, and he's just going to try. Not good. Your female can get pregnant and get egg bound, or there's a lot of other complications. Feeding. When you feed, one animal is going to be more dominant than the other, and the other one's going to sort of feel stressed out and not want to eat. If there's a problem or one animal's sick, which one is it? Or it's going to pass it on to the next one. Yeah. I don't recommend it, but then I've never done it. So I can't really say, oh, don't do this, don't do this. I can only give you what I've heard and what makes sense and what I believe in. It would make more sense to keep them separate because, especially in a bigger tank like that, you're going to be able, there's going to be more stuff that can go wrong in it that you're not going to be able to see because it's so large. Plus, I've heard of one snake eating the other. There was an unfortunate incident from an expo. A breeder.
Yep.
From an expo 2 years ago, or maybe even 3.
No, I think it was a little longer than that. It was a spider ball python. They were all, there was like 3 of them stuck in a bin together to transport just to the expo. It's like a 30-minute drive or something like that, I think I read. And one of the snakes killed a second snake and ate the third, and it died from consuming the one. And in the pictures, it shows the snake that got eaten actually tore through the other skin. It perforated it and killed it that way.
Something where if that's something that you do and it works for you and you're on top of it and it works, I can't sit here and say don't do it. But from what I understand and from what I've seen with these animals over the period of time, if you can have them housed separately, if there's something wrong or one doesn't eat, and you can isolate that animal and wonder why. If
instead of playing who has the runny poop.
Yeah, exactly. Who has this, or one animal's not eating, how do I get it to eat? Well, it's stressed out because of the enclosure. And the enclosure's so big, especially with ball pythons, it's going to be hard to keep the humidity and the temperatures at a stable, environment for them that makes them thrive. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be able to feed live. You'd have to do frozen thawed, and then you'd have to sort of, separate. I just think it's something that I wouldn't personally get into with the knowledge that I have, and hearing horror stories like Kiana said, and I've heard, and I've heard others as well. Why risk it? If you don't have to, then try not to. But if it's something that you want to do and you feel comfortable doing, just don't be one of those people that, after it's done and you screw up, like say,
don't cry about it.
Yeah, don't cry about it and blame everybody else. Like, I hope that answers your question, but I've never done it to give you what my opinion is from what I've heard and what I've experienced, but I've never done it, and I wouldn't advise it. Yeah. But then, some people say, well, why do you cut your eggs? Yeah, I don't advise it either. Like, yeah. I feel comfortable doing it. If I had 10 years of doing it and say, hey, I did that for 10 years and, I've had this, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't have that. But from what I know and making a common sense judgment, I wouldn't do it for many reasons. And some of them I've listed, and I'm sure there's a lot more.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just all on people's experience. And there's some species of snakes that are communal, like garters and stuff, but there's also a lot of species of snakes that aren't. So it's always a risk.
Yep.
So, and it's just depending if you're willing to take that risk or not, and then
correct
how you're going to monitor things too. So some people with the new technology, you can use a camera in there with a big enclosure like that, so you can watch things.
Yep.
But if you're not at home and you see something on the camera, you can't do anything about it.
Correct.
So there's just a lot of variables to it, and then it's just up to that person if they want to try it or not.
No, I agree.
Here's another good question. What do you think is the hottest gene at the moment?
That would be the blue gene. Bad. I'm going to get some people unfollowing me for that now. Jeez. There's so many. Special is coming back strong and some crazy stuff like clown and it's already doing some amazing stuff with pied. Lace, the lace gene, people are making some crazy stuff with that now that it's coming out in different combos. Blackhead, so many, but I would stick to at least one of those three. It's still so much more to do with them, and then there's a bunch of genes that are coming out that just hasn't been proven enough.
Yeah.
But I'm sure people work with a certain gene long enough into different things and find that right combination. Everything's lethal. Everything's wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I buy feeders from a ball python breeder for some of my hatchling hog noses because he breeds ASFs, and he was showing me some cryptic gene ball pythons. And I personally don't know anything about ball python morphs, but those looked really cool. Yeah,
that's a new one that I have a lot of it. I've been working with it now for this will be my third year. I have a theory that other people have sort of with their information and talking have come up with the result, which I believe in, and we'll prove out that theory this year. I love what it does. I think it's amazing. We just have to sort of get more animals out there so that you can see this is a cryptic and this is what we call a krypton or whatever, the double het allelic visual animal that to me looks very similar to what I've had as a cryptic, but my cryptic animal's 4 genes. So it's hard for me to isolate without those genes what it would look like compared to the double het visual. But I'm sure there'd be some sort of marker or thicker eye stripe or color, something to differentiate the two. But that's, more of this year and next year. Now that a lot of people are coming together, Garrett DeMeyer just left a message on my post on my YouTube channel about it. And he's saying, he's going to have, he sort of agrees with that, and that's where he's leaning towards as well. He's been working with it for probably 5 or 6 years, but not knowing, and then finally being allelic with clown. So with him, myself, other guys, Will from Royal Canadian Reptiles, Ballistic, Juan Guzman, he's got some stuff, people in Europe, people in the States. with everybody working with it and sharing our information, which is another thing which is amazing about social media and how we're all a community. We're trying to get the same goal, so everyone can understand how it works, what you actually have. And that's one reason why I came forward fast about it with my belief, which I think is going to, pan out with help of other people, because people are buying a cryptic, but it's not a cryptic like the cryptic I have. It's 100% double het of cryptic. So it's a het cryptic and a het clown. It's a visual like Tofino.
Yeah.
So my cryptic, when I breed it without clown, I don't ever get cryptics. I get hets. So it carries the gene. But when you breed it to clown, I get every animal being a cryptic looking animal, which we call kryptons. But if that person takes it and breeds it like I do my true cryptic, they're not going to get the results, or they'll be selling off animals that aren't what they're supposed to be. So I just want to give everybody like, hey, here you go. If I am right, your animal, you have to know what, or represent that animal in the proper way. So
that makes sense. And it seems really complicated.
Yeah, it is, but it isn't. Like it's if you look at Tofino and Candino, how that works, that was the first time two recessive genes had an allelic double het visual. Like what the hell? Like you put pied and clown together, you get a normal. You don't get some crazy looking cool snake that's a double het visual.
Yeah.
So at least now when we came out with it, people are like, you're crazy. That can't happen. Sure, I can compare it to Tofino. Because when Tofino and that come out, people were like, what the hell? That doesn't make sense. And Peter Williams and a few others were like, this is unheard of, because it was unheard of. But now with this cryptic and krypton, the double het visual allelic recessive that looks like a visual, we have something to base it on back, 10 years ago when we had this, Tofino come out. So it makes sense if you compare it to that. It's not like I just said, hey, this is the first time it's ever happened. It's an anomaly. People are like, you're nuts. We have something to compare it to. And when you look at it, it makes sense. So, we'll have more of an understanding this year. And once people get over it, it's like trying to do pies and double hets and factor in with Punnett squares. Like, you keep it over and over and over and over. Eventually, it gets easier and it gets more understood.
Yeah.
But it's still a theory, but it's a theory that myself and many other big breeders and others involved believe in. Some are like, nope, you can't. No, that's not right. Okay. I mean, I've got 40 or 50 animals with it, without and with. And I have two different options this year to make more kryptons and then one true cryptics from het to visual without clown at all. And they've been proven not to have clown already. So if I can hit a cryptic without clown from two proven breeder, female and male, that have no clown association because they were bred to clown the year before and got no visuals out of many eggs, then, my theory will stand along with other people that help me get to this theory. So
that'll be really cool once that proves out.
Yeah. And I think they're both, I think it's great because I think with the Tofino, you're sort of limited. With the color, this changes pattern, gives color, gives the eye stripe. It's worked well with every gene it's been attached to so far. So I'm excited. Even the Krypton version, never mind the cryptic versions, I think they can both go in different directions. So it's not like it has to be this or it has to be that. You're stuck. You can go in two different directions. And I think, people can only do so much with Toffee and so much with albino before it lose their interest. When you have a gene that changes pattern and color that you can take into all these different directions and make crazy looking animals, I think it's going to be an amazing gene, and I'm looking forward to being in it. And especially I'm happy I'm in it at the level I'm at.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be something to be proud of.
Yeah, and it's people are also making stuff that I'm looking at and like going, wow, I need to put that in now. So it's not like I'm sitting here and creating stuff that everyone has to follow. There's people that I'm following and we're sharing and stuff that people have made stuff. I'm like, wow, I need to get that gene into the cryptic or the krypton, and I got to do this. And I think it's great because it's not one person leading the path. It's a bunch of us sort of, holy shit, you see what he did? What he did? And it just, it excites it. It's not like, when there's a bunch of people involved in something, it's more hype than one person doing it all. And that's why this community is great for people sharing and doing things. And we're not all just doing the same thing, just more. It's all over the place, and it's amazing. And that's one thing that I love about it. That's why I follow so many people, because I can't make everything. There's no way I could, even if I tried. I'm not always going to hit the odds. People have different things and are doing different stuff, and I get to see what they've done and the work that they've put in, and I can add that to mine, or they can take some from me. They inspire me. I inspire them. It's amazing.
It really is.
Yeah.
How many breeder ball pythons do you have in your facility?
Females, I'm kicking around 430 breeder females.
Wow.
I've got about 800 females that are probably 800 to 1,200 grams growing up. Males, I probably have 100 breeder males, and probably a couple hundred growing up. And then this year I held back over 300 animals.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and I would say 220, 240 are females and the rest are males. But yeah, I mean, if you're not, that's another thing. I mean, I sold quite a few animals. I still have quite a few for sale. And people joke, it's like, wow, if Billy sold that, imagine the shit he's keeping. Yeah, it's crazy. Like the stuff that I sell is the stuff that I don't want. So if I'm shooting off some of these incredible animals, at crazy price tags, and imagine what I'm keeping back. And that's the gift of it. Like I could sell those now. I could probably sell those 300 holdbacks, and I'd probably get $500,000, $600,000. But where would I be in 3 years from now? Making the same stuff I did this two years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
People don't get it. Yeah. If you want to, a cash cow, and you want to invest, breed, and liquidate, you do that. But if you do that, don't expect in 2 years to make groundbreaking stuff or getting your collection to the next level.
Like Brian with the scaleless.
Yeah, I mean,
like people were offering Brian crazy amounts of money for it. He's like, nope.
Yep.
Here's some scaleless hets.
Yeah. And you get it. You're only as powerful as what you have breeding for you. So, I mean, I could keep my 430 breeder females, the way they are right now. But if I'm not injecting some crazy powerhouse animal males to go to those females, I'm at the mercy of the power of the genes I work with.
Yeah.
I can't make a 6 gene, double recessive visual animal if I don't have those genes involved in both animals to make it.
Yeah.
So I want to see, freeway super asphalt combos with 5 or 6 genes and the pied. And if I'm not making those genes and holding them back to create that down the road, how the hell am I ever going to make it? I'm not. I'm going to be looking at other people doing it that were smart and built for success, for the future, for those projects. I'm going to go, fuck, I could have been me, but nope. How much you want? I have to buy one. That's the only way I'm going to get it. Yeah. And if they even want to sell it, but I'm at the mercy of what they put in the time and the demand and the supply, and it's going to be low and the price is going to be high. And you want it, you pay for it. But it's sometimes it's not about what you make now, it's what you can make in the future. But you also have to design your business to have stuff that you make that's going to sell quick. You got to design it so that you also have some stuff where you're going to make that high-end stuff to push your collection forward, but then you're not going to hit all the odds. So you got, what I call leftovers that are still amazing at a lower price for other people to sort of, move behind me or take that animal and go in different directions. And then you make your double, triple, quadruple het combos and pray you get female heavy and, shooting for those odds. And you take a bit of that for stuff that you're not going to sell any of it. Yeah. So you got to sort of diversify that collection. So you got money coming in, you're shooting for the stuff to push your animals forward and your collection forward. You sell off the stuff that you don't need. And then you put, animals I think I'm doing 30 or 40% of my breedings this year for stuff that it's probably not even going to be for sale. Like just stuff like triple hets, clown double het, monsoon pied, stuff like that. Clown and double het enhancer pieds, stuff like I can't even make enough of. And if I sell them all off, who's going to make the first enhancer clown pied?
Yeah.
It won't be me because I cashed in.
You sold everything.
Yeah, I cashed in. It's the people that spent the money, and I got the money. Yeah, I'm laughing now, but they're going to be laughing, selling me animals and getting the recognition of putting the time in, the investment, and that's what it is. Yep. You want to collect animals and breed, awesome, but don't expect to do what we do. Don't look at what I create and go, fucking guy, blah, 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 blah. It sucks. It shouldn't be him. Why shouldn't it be? I put the work in. I put the time in. I put the years in. Don't get jealous and hate. I mean, it's the same thing. If I sell that project off, and how can I get mad at that person that gave me money and they took that where I should have taken it? I'm like, wow, you know what? What it does is I don't get mad. It pisses me off that I sold it. That I should have been doing that. Why that should be me. Damn it. And that's what it is I make enough money on stuff that I don't want to sell or keep. So why sell off stuff that's going to take me to that next level or make stuff that's groundbreaking? I don't need to sell that. I make enough of stuff that I don't need. So don't always sell off the gold, just because it's money flashing in front of you, because you will kick yourself in the ass. I've done it many times, seeing somebody else make your project like, oh my God, like, wow, that's,
that.
Yeah, I mean, it you're happy for them, and at the same time, you just want
kicking yourself in the ass.
Yeah, and you want to just but they did it. They put the work in. They put the time. They invested. So don't sell off your goals for money. I mean, money will come, especially if you're hitting these animals and no one else has them. You're in the driver's seat. Yeah. Don't sell off for quick cash now. You're going to kick yourself in the ass. I've been there. I've done it. And I probably, it's not going to be the first or the last time I'm doing it.
Yep. It'll happen because sometimes genes will pop up in something that you sell and you didn't know it was there. Possibly.
Yeah. Or life gets in the way and like, oh shit, my car broke down. I got to do this. I need money. Oh, I got 10 guys throwing money at me for these. I don't want to sell them, but I need to. Life's in the way. Yep. Here you go. I mean, or there's a project you really need to get into. You might lose on this, but you're going to financially gain, or your collection is going to turn into a whole different new direction, which you really want to go to. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to give up the gold in order to chase. So you lose, in one aspect, but you gain in another. So don't always think everything's in stone and it's hard. Like sometimes I keep enough, too much back. Sometimes I don't keep enough. You got to just sort of know and follow your path and your feeling of where you want to be and what you think you need to get there.
Yeah. Sean commented, if you like scaleless, would you prefer micro scale or scaleless head?
I have a lot of scaleless stuff. I should have a lot of visuals this year. I think I got 7 clutches. So scaleless albino pieds, scaleless pieds. I got some scaleless head clown combos coming. I don't have any of the micro scale stuff, so I can't really compare it. They do come out with the same result, but I do believe that there are differences from my understanding. It's something that I don't know too much about the micro scale. Some people are working with it. I believe there is a few differences in it, but I can't really answer that. But I like the project. I'm not going crazy with it. Out of 2,000 ball pythons, I have maybe 20 that are scaleless head. So I'm keeping it minimal. I want to be able to produce my own and say that I did it and have them and try to follow people like Daniel Allison and Brock Wagner and Winston that have, my man Earl in Texas from Lone Star. He's got a lot of it invested really early in the project. So I can call these guys and get advice, but I don't want to just sit there and say, oh, they did it. I don't want to do it. I want to be able to say I've done it, have some experience it. If I like it, then I grow. If I don't like it, then I move on and keep what I have or sell out and say, hey, I don't like any of it. It's too much work. I want to be able to decide that with having it and working with it, and then I make my own decision. But some people love it. Some people have a lot. Some people, to say, oh my God, it's the curse of the devil. Like, you can't do this to ball pythons. Like, whatever, But I am in the project. I like it. I don't know the difference between the two, but I do think they're both cool. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
She booked?
She had to go pee.
So, oh, okay.
She messaged me. She's like, I got to pee so bad. I was like,
yeah, no worries.
I had to let the dogs out earlier because they're starting to yell at me, and I didn't want them to bark too loud on the microphone. So that's where I went off to earlier. But I have a couple of questions in regard to like your facility and some of the things you do. Because you have a really nice facility, and I was kind of wondering like what kind of cleaning regimen you do, because you do probably a lot of cleaning, and like what kind of disinfectants you do and stuff like that.
Okay, so I've always used chlorhexidine for ever since I could remember. I think I used to start off back in the day with like a watered down vinegar. I tried some other solutions that were around back then. You get from the pet store and mix it and dilute it. But when I was turned on to chlorhexidine, the 2%, I've been using that forever, watering it down or diluting it and using that, and I've never had an issue. As of about a year and a half ago, I found out that a lot of the bacteria and stuff that are around over the lifespan that we've been using this chlorhexidine have learned to adapt or change, so it doesn't really kill it. Okay. So I'm like, oh wow, really? I didn't know that. And it's like, so I figured there was another what I use. It's called Quato. So QUATO 78. I believe it's only available in Canada. But I'm sure there's something similar. I mean, I don't know if F10 is similar in the, I don't know if F10 is more similar to chlorhexidine or the F10 is more closer to the Quato 78. But the Quato 78 is, it kills HIV. It kills everything. It's a newer, I guess, disinfectant that, is sort of like an extra step and more powerful than the chlorhexidine. So what I've been doing is, instead of getting rid of the chlorhexidine, which I've been a faithful user for 10 plus years, now what we do is we still clean it the exact same way with the chlorhexidine. We clean it. We only use one paper towel per tub. If we have to throw that out and use another piece, we use that, but we never use one tub paper towel, even if it's sort of a little bit dry or it's not dirty, on another tub. It's basically, one per or two per. But no paper towels ever go to the next tub. So we'll clean it fully with chlorhexidine, let it dry for a couple of minutes, and then we spray with this new one called Quato 78, and it's a 10-minute kill time. So we spray it, coat everything where it's almost like soaking wet, and it air dries over 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, if there's a little bit of still extra left, we just take a cloth and we just sort of wipe it around, and it coats it, and that kills everything. So we do that double procedure. It might be overkill, but it's something that we do. And we spray all of our counters at the end of the day. We wipe it down with the chlorhexidine, let it dry. Then we spray it where it's actually like it's covered. Like if you put your hand on it and you lift it up, your hand's dripping. So it's sprayed and it air dries. So in the morning when we come in, there's no film. It just air dries and it kills everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we do that with the carts. We do that with the bottles, the spoons, everything that we use. And then the floor, the floor is actually the worst part of the whole place. It's like we have a big mop and not mop, but what do you call it? Those big long, I think it's like 3-foot brooms. And we go around and you do, two laps and the whole place is clean. But I do want to start having it like every month. It just takes so much work because the water spots or they pee and it dries. You're sitting there and I have so much floor space. When you're cleaning it, you really got to, it's a workout and a half, man. You got to scrub it. And but I do that probably every few months. But I mean, our animals aren't on the floor. It's our shoes only. So it's not like where we need to disinfect it like we do the tabletops or everything the carts on a daily basis. But Yeah, I mean, so far so good. I mean, I've been using that for the last year and a half. I like it. It's a little bit longer because we have the double stage, but
Yeah.
you know, I mean, if I know it kills everything, and it's not that much more expensive. It's probably the same price as a jug of no, it's actually a little cheaper than the jug of chlorhexidine. So I use the chlorhexidine. I do a full pump.
Yeah.
Into my spray bottles, and then I do a half pump of the Quado, so it's actually more stronger with less.
Okay.
So
it goes a little bit farther.
It goes a little bit further, yes. So I do the both. I mean, I don't know what it cost me extra a year, $400 to do it this way, but for $400, I know everything's getting killed, HIV and all. So I mean,
it's worth the biosecurity.
Oh, 100%. Yep. You know, so.
I've never heard of that Quado stuff until actually right now, because right now I'm using Furcon, which was recommended by my vet because it covers a lot of different stuff. So
yeah, I mean, I just got that because it was thrown at me. I'm like, yeah, you know, it was recommended, and I've never had an issue with it. It kills, you know, everything. It's so I did that. I'm sure there's a ton of other, you know, same or even better products out there.
Oh, yeah.
I just, you know, because I've had a lot of people saying, hey, that stuff, I can't find it. It's only in Canada. I'm like, oh, shit, sorry. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it's equivalent to.
Well, I know here in Canada, F10 is not being shipped here anymore because of some FDA regulations, and it's just become too hard to get. So whatever gets used that's it. So people are going to have to use like Quado 78, like you mentioned, chlorhexidine, Furcon, or possibly some other ones that might possibly come up. So
yeah.
I have a couple listed on that home reptile kit page that we posted.
Cool. Yeah. And I mean, the thing is it's something, like I said, I've been doing this for so long. It's only been about a year and a half or so that I got this new chemical into my cleaning regimen. If I knew earlier, I might have tried it earlier. But since I found it, I'm like, oh shit, let me try it. And why not use both?
Yeah.
So just an extra, you know, and the cost and it's an extra 10 minutes to spray it and let it sit. So maybe 15 minutes, because sometimes you don't spray it 100% evenly, so it leaves a little pool. So you just take another piece of clean paper towel and sort of just wipe it out so that it dries, and then we put it. And yeah, I mean, it works. It works well. I mean, I've had no issues before that. So now I even know I have. It's like the next line of defense. Like,
yeah,
I've had no issue with chlorhexidine in 10 years. Now try to, you know, now I got the next thing behind it. Now try to fuck with my collection. You know what I mean? So
it's just taking that extra step for biosecurity, just in case something.
100%.
So there's a lot of new viruses that they're discovering and all these other kind of things that do come up. So it's just better to be prepared than underprepared. And then all of a sudden, like, oh shit.
Yeah. And then, you know what I mean? It's funny because if there ever is an issue, you know, you can sort of pinpoint it to certain other things where it's like, oh, I don't know if it's my table, if it's on my cart. I don't know if it was because of this, it was because of that. If you know your tabletops are sterilized and this is done, it sort of, you know, what the hell's the problem, you know, and you can sort of isolate it a lot better than saying, could be this, could be that, could be this, could be that, could have been 10 of those, 15 of that. It's frustrating when there's a problem and you have, it's like trying to figure it out when there's so many options that could happen. If you narrow it down to certain things, you know, it's a lot easier to figure out or come to the conclusion, you know, narrow it down. So, you know, and it's a little bit of extra work and it's a little bit of extra money, but you know what? It's my collection. It's my pride and joy. It's something that it gets done, and it's only done that way. And, you know, if I learn down the road there's something better or another procedure to even do it even, you know, another step further, I'm probably going to take that also. Yeah. So.
Maddie is wondering, how often do you clean using this product? How often do you change out all the substrate?
I use both products every day. So every time we wipe down a counter, every time we wipe down our buggies, if we're doing a tub, we do the same thing. We clean it fully. So sometimes the bedding or they poop and it's smeared all over the tub. If it's so dirty that it's going to go through like 6 or 7 sprays and 6 or 7 pieces of paper towel. We bring it to the sink. We do a full wash in the sink, let it dry, and then we put it through the entire process. So even though it went to a sink and it was fully cleaned out, we still put it through the exact same process: chlorhexidine, dry, 10-minute Quado, and then put it back into circulation. Now, with our bedding, we use coconut husk. I used to do paper, switched over to coconut husk. We do a spot clean probably through every tub twice a week. We go through the collection twice a week. Sometimes the adults get done 3 times. So we'll spot clean. But if there's an area where it's really dirty, I'll take half the tub and throw it all out. So we're putting a whole bunch, then we sort of spread the other stuff out and throw half of a, so it's almost always getting refreshed.
Yeah.
Only when it's super, super, super soiled, and then we'll do a full clean. But we're actually pretty much doing a quarter clean or a half clean almost, once a week. We're going through it, and we go through about 8 garbage bags of big black garbage bags of coconut husk a week. So I don't really say, oh, it's shed, let's do a full clean. I do a full clean, like a quarter clean or a half a clean almost every single time we're opening that tub.
That makes sense.
So it's not like it's the same stuff that's been there for a month. It's always being cycled in and out and moved around.
Yeah.
And if it looks like it's dark and it's not like fresh, we'll take it out and throw new stuff around. So,
works.
We've been doing it like that now for a good year and a half. And I mean, it's great. Like, I'm happy with the way it is. Animals are getting there. They look good. When I open up a tub randomly, I mean, I get the odd poop, but it's fresh.
Yeah, but they
reality.
Poop. They're snakes.
Yeah. I mean, if I see poop and a shed and a piss, I'm happy because it's healthy.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? And people stop. I think it's more harmful to over sterilize your animal than it's pee and poo. Leave it there for a day or if you see it, come back to it at night. I mean, if you have the capability of changing it right away, cool. But I mean, reality is you have a collection of a few hundred animals. There's no way you can go down there and check every bin and it's going to be spotless.
Every day, yeah.
There's no, you can go down every half an hour and it's going to change.
Yeah.
It's, and one thing about the coconut husk, it absorbs it and it stays in an area. When you're on paper, which I used to be, when it pees, it doesn't stay there. It goes everywhere. So it's a lot more. I mean, I love paper. I've been using paper for years and years and years. I love it. Problem is when you have 2,000 animals, you're cleaning, 1,500 tubs a day. Yeah. They spill their water. The smell goes up because you have so many animals defecating or going to the bathroom. Sporadic.
And there's nothing to absorb
it. Yeah. And then with the coconut husk, I mean, my humidity's great. It absorbs the smell. We get the spot clean quicker. So like I said, we're going through the collection 2 times a week, sometimes 3 with the adults. With paper, we'd be lucky to get the collection done once a week. 2,000 full complete tub cleaning. Wow. It's not realistic.
It's an unrealistic workload.
Yeah, right. I use coconut husk myself in a bunch of the enclosures behind me. I actually have it in there. I also mix in some other stuff in there. I put a leaf litter on for some of my animals because it makes it feel more secure for some of the species that I keep. So everybody keeps stuff differently. So there's options out there. Maddie's wondering what brand of co-husk are you using?
Herpetoculture.
I don't use Herpetoculture myself. I use a different brand. I buy it from Home Hardware. I'm not sure if they're carrying it around anymore, but it's been becoming a lot harder to find.
Yeah, I've seen that stuff a long time ago. I used to use that for some other animals.
Yeah.
I used to go there and clean them out.
I just get the hardware store stuff.
So, but it's becoming a little bit harder to find because a lot of the stores that I've gone to, they said their wholesaler had a couple C cans of it, and then whatever sold out, they sold out, and now they can't get it right now. So I guess they're probably finding other suppliers or something else in replace for it. So
yeah, I mean, I went with the coconut, and then I used I wouldn't say a no-name brand, but a brand that was manufactured here I'm pretty sure it's manufactured here, but it was bought here in Ontario. And I used to buy it, and it works, and it's good. But I found that the quality was, great, and then it misses. But you find that in every product. Like there's no way everything is perfect all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do like, one thing that's amazing about Herpetochip, I've never tried Coco Block or some of the other stuff that's out there. The customer service and the people who stand behind it is amazing. The way I ordered it and it got delivered, and the communication was spot on. The way the packaging was, the way everything was sort of similar. And using the product, I did find it to be much better. And of course, it's at a higher cost. Yeah. But looking at it, do I want to save money? Do I want what's best for my animals? I'm paying more for better quality. Yeah. And it's definitely better quality. I can't compare it to Coco Block or other stuff that's out there. But what I've had to Herpetochip compared to the stuff that I was using, it's a way better product. The packaging's better. Everything is more. You pay for what you get, and that's why I use it, and I stand behind it. I ain't looking back. If there's another product out there one day that I do test, but I don't see it because I'm happy where I'm at. But that doesn't mean you have to use Herpetochip. I mean, if you want to try Coco Block and you like it, then do it. But from my point, why not try Herpetochip? I mean, it's great. I love it. I'm glad I tried it, and I noticed a difference, and I'm going to use it. And but that doesn't mean Herpetochip is the only coconut product that's amazing. I just haven't had access to it. But it is better than the one I did have access to and used. So I can give my opinion. I love Herpetochip.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, just like Freedom Breeder and ARS. I've never had Freedom Breeder. The ones that I have had were old racks that I bought a collection from, and they just the old stuff. They were, they weren't the same as my ARS because I can touch them. I use them. I've had 12 years of ARS, if not longer, probably maybe closer to 15. And they're amazing. I love them. The customer service, Brian and Jason, they're there. They come up to our expo. It's great. And plus my magnet system, it doesn't work on the Freedom Breeder. But then there's people that have Freedom Breeder and go, hey, I've had ARS too. I love the Freedom Breeder for this and this and this. Yeah. It's a preference. Yeah. Is Freedom Breeder better than ARS? I don't know. Is ARS better than? No, I don't know because I can't compare the two. But what I have had with my experience with ARS and only ARS, I can't complain. You know what I mean? So, I don't know which one's better, but I'm stuck with ARS. I'm happy I'm stuck with ARS because I have to have everything matching. But now I got Freedom Breeder tubs because, in my new racks that I have. And it's probably because ARS doesn't make it. But if ARS made it, I stick to my loyalty with them because I'm so happy with them, always have been. I would stick that, but they didn't have it. So I went to Freedom Breeder. To me, it's the best, the same, or the next best thing. So I went to them and I'm happy. And, people ask me at the time, why did you pick ARS? It's like, I made a choice and I stuck with it and I'm happy with it. But if I had all my racks at the first time with Freedom Breeder, I'd probably be here going, Freedom Breeder is the best. I've never tried ARS, but I love it. I would have had to change something else. I wouldn't be able to do my magnet system, but I would have adapted with those racks because I had access to them and I've used them.
Yeah.
But it's like, what's better? It's whatever you like, your choice.
Yep. And whatever your budget is too, because up here in Canada, our dollar's not very good right now. So
has it ever been really good?
Not really.
Yeah. But you get what you pay for it. You're paying $4,000 a rack. You know what I mean? And Freedom Breeder's a bit more. But you know what? It's an investment. Yep. You can use that. I've used some of my racks for 7 years and I still sold them for $2,000-3,000 grand. After, paying, $3,500-4,000, depending on the shipping and the dollar at the time. But I mean, if I'm paying $3,500, $4,000 for a rack, using it for 7 years, loving it every second, my animals are thriving in it, and then I can sell it used 7 years later and get, 70, 80% of my money back. Oh, wow.
Pretty good.
Yeah, they're amazing when they can retain their value like that.
Yeah, if you buy an ARS rack or a Freedom Breeder rack and you get them and you use them, your animals will love them. The cup, the cup holders. If you don't have those,
that's what I like about
it's
those.
huge. The way they hold humidity. I mean, Freedom Breeder and ARS. There's a reason why you pay for the quality and you pay for the price. You will love them. You will never complain about them. You spend the money. It's an investment, but you will love them. Your animals will love them. And think about it down the road. It's professional. It works. You can sell it to someone else because they're always in demand, even used. Amazing, But I can't, compare Coco Block to Herpetoculture because I've never used it. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm sure if I had my whole facility with Freedom Breeder racks, I'd be praising them too. They look amazing. Everyone, it's a preference. I've never had that in my facility. I'm happy where I'm at. Why go switch? Plus, if I did, I'd have to, call Jesse and the guys and go, hey guys, I need 35 racks, dude. Can you give me a discount? Like, I'm going to sell the $120,000 I have in ARS racks and I need 150 of yours. Like, holy shit. Like, it's a big investment where I'm at. And
absolutely.
I never wanted to leave. That's why I kept growing because I've been happy with the product. Yeah. But that being said, if I had Freedom Breeder, my whole facility would have been Freedom Breeder from the start. I just started with something and just, grew with that because I have been happy. You're not going to go wrong with either Freedom Breeder or ARS. It's amazing how these people keep changing. And, ARS came out with a new tub. Jesse and them are always making different, advancements to their racks. It's not like, hey, here's a rack and we're done. We're just going to see. They keep elevating their product to the next level too and making it, and listening to what our breeders like, and it's awesome because it's not just here you go, take it or leave it. They're working with us and making stuff that works for our animals and us as breeders or people that are just housing them, and it's making it more for stuff that we want to have. And it's awesome. They're not just, this is what you got, take it or leave it. And it's great that way. Just like people with the coconut husk, they're making it better. They're bringing this. New people like the light diffusers. I've been using light diffusers to hold my eggs above the vermiculite since day one.
Yeah.
Now they came out with the egg tray. Oh my God, I love it.
I saw the
Easy Hatch,
Easy
baby.
Tray. Yeah, Easy Hatch.
Yeah,
those look really sweet.
I bought 150 of them, and I love them. Amazing. And you know what? It took somebody 20 years to design it. Awesome. I love it. But it's amazing
Brandon,
how
we
people...
need that 3D printer.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing how people are taking what we have and coming up with designs and things and products to make what we do better and easier. And it's awesome. It's so many people at different levels in this hobby that keep contributing. Even Snake Guard. I'm going to give Anna from AK Morphs a shout out. The stuff that she does with the snakes with the paint. Have you seen those?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, she's awesome. She takes a wooden cutout of a snake, and then she does this like acrylic paint or some sort of. It's awesome. And then she clear coats it, and I have it hanging up. I have another one coming in with my logo. Not my logo, my MC. Yep. She's painted it, and it's awesome. And she's been doing that and selling that, and people are putting it up in their room. People like JKR making posters. Just, giving what we do and just putting it into other types, not just, hey, look at my snake, look at my rack, look at my art, look at these postcards, look at, the stickers that I love collecting and love giving people shout outs. It's art in their own way, and it defines every person's unique little, what they're about, their name. But it's so cool how it's this little community of collecting snakes is just it's grown into something so much larger than just pets here and pets there and racks. It's awesome.
Yeah, like I'm looking to expand my collection, and with my budget, I'm looking at some used Vision racks, and I'm pretty pumped about getting some of those because they'll suit my needs really well for my probably next couple of breeding seasons with my hog noses. So,
and what's good about those is eventually you use them and you want to say, hey, you know what? I've done well. You know, I like these, but I like those better. You can now sell those to somebody else, sort of making that step up from, say, Malamine or something. You can sell those and get a nice chunk of your investment back to put towards those new racks. And now you're giving somebody else something used that's better for them. Like it's like your older brother and sister's hand-me-downs. They're still good. It's just, you know, you got to work with what you got to. You can't just, you know, I mean, I started at the bottom with Malamine. Well, shit, I started with the tank. I started with all my animals in tanks. And then I found out about racks, and I got them all made from a carpenter and had Malamine. And then I went to PVC, and then I went to ARS, and then ARS and PVC and Malamine.
Yeah, because
and then I just grew. Now I have all Malamine. Now I'm not Malamine. I've got all ARS. And now I've actually backstaged, and now I've gone PVC with these new Freedom Breeder tubs.
Yeah, those look really nice.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm loving them so far. That's, you know, from Serpent Stacks here in Canada.
Those look really nice.
They're amazing. I love them. I mean, I got more coming.
They're a little more expensive for most people, but that's because they come with Freedom Breeder tubs, and those tubs obviously have a higher exchange rate because our dollar's not so great, but they're amazing tubs.
They have a little I think it's
a cup holder,
and it's got ventilation. So when you're putting it in the PVC, or PVCX, it actually has ventilations through the side. I love them. Like I said, I have all my animals. We transferred them in there yesterday. So I looked at them today. They all look like they love it, you know, on coconut. And I mean, so it's new for me. But I mean, so I want to step back. Ooh, I got PVCX now, and you don't have ARS? No, I mean, you know what? That's what's available to me. That's what I went. So it's not like, oh, I can never go backwards. Sure, you can. I mean, it's something that I get to choose my destiny. If I don't want, ARS racks and Freedom Breeder racks are not it's not what makes the animals eat, breed, you know, look good, make you love them. It's just an enclosure. It is the best enclosure out there, but it's not needed. There's breeders here in Canada that have Malamine racks, and they have just as many animals as myself. And guess what? They breed, they eat, they get just as much attention as mine. They thrive, and they're not in fancy-dancy, you know, ARS. So they're not needed, but I'll tell you, when you have them, you're not going to ever say, damn, I wish I never got this. You're going to love them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, I've never looked back. And now this is the first time I've ever gone backwards from keep getting everything out. But this is the only application I have with these tubs. And I'm happy right now. But then if they do come out with ARS or Freedom Breeder in a rack like this, in a steel thing, maybe I can sell these now at a lower cost to somebody else. Yep. And then I'm going to go for the big gusto. So I invested. I didn't get cheap Malamine that eventually, you know, in a year or two, I hate it because it's bowing or it's cracking. And now I got to sell it to someone else and try to, oh, please just give me 150, please.
Yeah.
You know, okay, I'll take 80. You know, we deliver it like, oh my God, no, it's 400 pounds. Like, so yeah. So, I mean, it's something where I can use this for a year or so, you know, or I'll keep them, but I can pass that on to somebody else because it's an investment, and somebody else will take them and it'll be their gold, you know? Yeah. And then it's a stepping stone for them to get to ARS rack.
Yeah.
You know, or Freedom Breeder.
Brandon, you're doing that pretty much to get your Freedom Breeders, aren't you? Getting them from a bigger breeder.
Yeah, stepping stone, man.
I'm getting mine from Big D Exotics.
Big Dan. Awesome.
Yeah, he bought a bunch of ARS racks, and he's got a couple of these left, so I'm picking them up from him. So.
And then I'm stealing Brandon's old racks.
Eh? Yeah, Dan's just balling. Yeah, getting all the good stuff, balling out. Big Dan, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. Yeah.
His table is usually one of my favorites. Like, considering I'm not really a ball python fan, but whenever I'm at the expo, his table's really nice to look at, and like so many different colors of animals.
Oh, when I was at the
WCRE,
the WCRE. When I was there, I was at his table, and what was more fascinating than his ball pythons was some of his boas. I'm like, wow,
he's got really nice boas.
Oh my God, yeah, he's got some sick stuff. Yeah, Big Dan's been doing this for a long time. I've known him 2009, probably maybe even longer, but 2009. I think I first met him in 2010 in person. or 2011, in around there, 2009, 2011. Yeah, I mean, awesome guy. He's been breeding amazing quality stuff for years. He keeps growing, and it's good to see him now, going and getting into, I don't know, I've never been to his facility yet, but, even us big breeders keep expanding, keep buying. I mean, it's not like, hey, look at me, I'm Mutation Creation, I've made it. Now let's just, there's still so much more for us to, go to. I have goals that I'm still trying to achieve. My next goal is going to be a bigger facility.
Yep.
I just don't know if I'm going to buy it on a piece of land and custom build it, or I'm going to go rent, pay a lease for 10 years and design it, the way I want it. I'm not sure, but I mean, that's a goal for me next. So just because you get to a size like myself doesn't mean, hey, we're here at the top, there's nowhere else to go. Yeah. I mean, if it was, I'd be bored.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you're planning on to work with besides ball pythons in the future? Or?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get into some higher end boas. I almost did that this year, but I'm gonna wait on that. I want to get back into green trees, emeralds, basins. I had some really crazy stuff back in the day. So I'm gonna get back into that, but not for breeding purposes. I mean, I will try just, I'll get like a trio of this. I want to get some blazing blue collar lizards again.
Those are beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, Craig Stewart has some crazy Eurymastix colorations and beardies. And
he has some intense leopard geckos.
Like the Eclipse and some sun. I don't know. There's so many names.
Black Knight and all that.
Yeah. I mean, there's just I like to get a little few of everything. I mean, one thing it'll be good for me as far as me getting back what I sold. A big comparison though from when I had all my different lizards and frogs and other types of snakes back when I first started. 23, 25 years ago, before my daughter was born. So it'd be nice to get that back, but not just on a scale to breed or just to have, and then I get some more stuff for YouTube. Look at this, look how cool it is, and get excited. But see the different things. Like I said, I have invested in a lot of hognose. I got a lot of those, so I'm working with someone with that, and we'll probably come out with that in another end of the year, next year. Some of the stuff I brought in on a small scale. And see where it goes, but I like it. I think they're awesome. But I'd like to get into lizards too. And there's so many. I mean, it's one of those things you start looking. It's like when you have an empty tank. Oh, I gotta get an empty tank. You don't know what you want, but you go find something for it, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I don't know. I don't want to wake up a monster going, holy shit, look at this. Next thing you know, Billy, Mutation Creation chameleons. Mutation Creation bearded dragons. Like, who knows, man? I love it. Who knows where I'm going to take something, right? Yep. But I just want to have something for myself just to have it. But I want to have a separate room, just like JKR did, Justin Kabilka. I mean, I can't. I mean, I can't have certain animals in where I'm at because of the fact that my temperatures are different and.
Again.
Yeah. But I mean, I love it all. But I mean, ball pythons are my heart. I'm never going anywhere. They'll always be my number one. And that's about that.
Do you keep any animals at home?
I don't. Yeah. So I spend more time at the facility than I do at home. So I'm always there. And then when I get home, it's time for myself, even though I don't really get much. But I'm always on the phone, talking with people, messaging, doing the stuff that I can't do at the facility. Yeah. So if I was here, I'd be like, oh, look at the snake, taking pictures of it and, not getting other shit that I'm supposed to be done because I'm too busy, admiring my snakes here.
The stuff us hobbyists are doing.
Yeah. But I mean, with everything that I have at the facility, like how do I choose which ones do I have here? It'd be nuts. I couldn't, right?
Yeah.
So, but just everything's at the facility. That way everything's temperature controlled. It's there. When I go there, I put the work in. When I come here,
it's shut off.
I focus. Well, it's never shut off, unfortunately, but that's what I love doing. It's more focused on other things like messaging people, social media, seeing what other people are doing, joining into people's lives, doing a live myself, So, I love going in and jumping in when I can and seeing what other people are doing and talking about. And it excites them that I show up, which is amazing. I mean, if I can inspire people, no matter any which way, if I can, I'm going to do it.
Well, when I messaged you and asked if you were interested, you're like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, like a famousy kind of person wants us. Like,
yeah,
yes.
No, I mean, I didn't even say, oh, let me look to see who they are before I say yes. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I didn't even know who you are. Like, oh, where is this? Where are you? Oh, we're from Canada. I'm like, nice. Oh,
cool. Because we're just starting out, I think we've only been doing this since February, something like that.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are like, well, what are your stats? Well, we're new, but how many Canadian reptile podcasts are there? Yeah. Hello. We have a huge, wonderful community. A bunch of the other American reptile podcasts have given us so much help and support, and like they've been great. I want to do a big episode with all the reptile podcasters. I think that'd be real cool. Get us all in there chatting about everything.
Yeah, like I said, if I could, you know what I mean? Like I just talk about my experiences, what I believe in. But I always want to just let people know, and I'll say it all the time. It's not black and white. You can do all different, it's your choice. You can do different things. What works for me might not work for you. You just got to put the work in, put the time in. If you want to do, into a business, you got to invest. You got to hold stuff back. It's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows and flowery. You get kicked in the nuts here and there. You don't always get what you want. You're going to get scammed. You're going to get someone hating you. You're going to get bullied. You're going to, there's just so much of it. And it doesn't go away the bigger you get. It's actually more harder doing what I have to do at every single level. The
Brandon,
time,
your
this
child.
thing. Well, what did he do?
Look at the bottom of the screen.
Brandon loves.
Chloe, Kiana loves hemipenes.
I just saw you like giggling away, and I was like, he's doing something.
But yeah, I mean, this here is a great hobby. It's a great business. But if you treat your business like a hobby, it'll never be a business.
Yeah.
Okay. There's things that you have to let go and change your mindset when you want to go towards being a business. My love of my animals and my care and my collection hasn't changed because I'm a business. Am I focused more on the money aspect? In some degree, yes, because I need to buy more stuff to keep my collection where it's at, plus where I want to take it.
And you have to pay for your facility, and like there's reasons that you need to make money.
Yeah, but I don't sit there and go, oh, okay, how many pies should I make because I can sell 25 of them?
Yeah.
I don't make pies to sell. I make pies to make the fucking jeans that I want, the animals that I want. Yeah. When I miss and I pull my holdbacks back, whatever's left over is what's there. I don't go, I need to make 20 of these, 10 of those. I'm not a production factory. And that's what a lot of people don't. Oh, well, you just go and you make all the. No, I don't make 10 of this and 10 of that and 20 of that. If I get that out of my pairings, then that's what I get. But, I'm shooting, like you see some of my clutches, double het to double het and het to het. Why am I making double het stuff if I just wanted to pump animals up? Why am I making double het pied and clowns? Why don't I just make a bunch of pieds to throw out the door and a bunch of clown combos and sell them because they're hot? Why am I making stuff for the future? Because I want to be here in the future. It's not always about the money. And I do structure some animals so that I can say, oh, no, these sell. So 20 or 30% of what I make will definitely be because I have to pay for my overhead sometime or somehow. And then the other stuff I go for my projects, and whatever's left over I sell. And then there's stuff that I shoot for longevity and stuff that I need for future.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. I love it. The community's awesome. If you put the work in and you put the time in, you market yourself well. I'm no one special, but I've got here from the hard work and what I've created and getting social media on a slow pace. But now everything's blowing up. My YouTube's blowing up, and it didn't happen overnight. It's work, and I'm not done. Like I'm still putting in work to keep moving it forward. It's not like, oh, I'm successful on YouTube now. I don't have to do anything else. I'm here.
That's that's like with this. We're constantly having to buy like new gear, upgrades, stuff like that. But with all these improvements that we make, our downloads are increasing, our followers are increasing, and everything moves at a consistent, steady pace. And it's like, perfect. If this keeps moving, I'm happy. If it slows down a little bit, that's okay. If it speeds up a bit, hey, that's great. As long as I'm constantly moving forwards, I'm happy.
But you see how you started and you're growing into the direction you want to go?
Yeah,
go spend $100,000, get a studio, get everything perfect, and you sit in front of this best shit in the world and you have nothing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then you got all the best shit in the world and you're doing nothing with it.
And you have no followers.
Right. It's better to grow and build and learn and then invest and then, you know, you follow where the path is taking you.
Well, like we started building our following before we even had content to put out.
Correct, and that's another smart way to do it.
I was just posting like reptile memes, reptile news articles, stuff like that on the page, so we had people to launch to. And by the time we actually posted an episode, I think there's about 200 followers. It was like perfect.
Yeah,
it's working. So I'm happy.
And
I actually started a class for podcasting today. So
cool.
Just another thing we're doing to improve what we do.
Yeah. And it's just like I said, you grow and you learn. It's not like, oh, spend the money, I'm here. What the fuck fun is that? I mean, anyone can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can probably go spend money and have a podcast studio better than yours right now. But why? If it's like, what's the point of that? It's like buying snakes. Yeah. Don't just go buy animals because you got the money. Buy it and make something and have a direction and you know, learn and have a journey and grow with it. You know, you don't have to be at the top tomorrow. I don't understand what the fuck the rush is.
Yep.
You know, because sometimes, you know what, when you get here, you're going to say, why the fuck am I here? It's so much work.
Well, if it happens overnight, what are the chances of you getting overwhelmed and going, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm content with taking my baby steps.
Yep. No, and true. And you learn more and you get that experience and you get the confidence and people are there because of that. Like, I can't believe so many people watch me on YouTube. I'm just a crazy, you know, guy who's hyperactive. I've got all these, you know, things wrong with me or, you know, in other people's minds that, he's got this, he's got that. And I can't help it, but it's amazing how I'm just being me. I don't do any editing. I just cut and shoot. I fuck up. I make mistakes. I'm human. Oh, look at this. Oh, that one's dead. That sucks. It's real. It's not staged. Yep, I got shit in some of my...
That's the best way to do it.
It's like, the way I want to do it. So whether it's the best
real,
way
raw,
or not,
honest truth of keeping and breeding. Like,
that may not be the best, right? I mean, it's the way I do it. Whether it's the best or not, it's the way I do it and the way I want to do it. Like when I cut my eggs. Is it the best way? Is it the only way? No. But it's the way I want to do it.
Yeah.
Just like my videos. I do it that way. But I can't believe just being me, not making mistakes, just not acting, just this is the way I am all the time. I can be me, not have to pretend I'm somebody else, do what I do naturally, not have to stage anything. And people follow me and they love me for that. And I don't have to change. You meet me in person, I'm the same way, hyper and woo. You know, it's just the way I am. And I love it because it's just natural for me. I don't have to sit there and read cue cards and go, it's just roll the camera. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, I like that.
And, it's great having Austin there. And I got Lord of Lion that's there as well. And, gives us ideas of what to do. And I get the interaction between me and Austin. And I have an amazing team. And I wouldn't want to change anything, even if it was for the better. I love it the way it is, and I'll learn and I'll get there and make it better, or get to my goals over the time. But I'm not changing anything the way it is. I love it the way it is, and I'm glad I have it the way it is.
Yeah, no, it works for you, and obviously you're extremely successful with it. So I think your system is clearly working.
Yeah, and I didn't set out to do it like this. I just said, hey, let me just cut some eggs and, let's do this. And then, eventually I brought Austin in because he kept like, hey, like, what are you doing, dude? Like, it just sort of distracted me. So now I bring him in and he's a big part of it and it's awesome. And, we do this, cutting eggs in the races, Team Austin, Team Billy. It's like, it just, we didn't set out, hey, in 5 months, we're going to do this. And it just, it came. It's just, and it's awesome. It's just so fluent and it's funny. And it's just, you know, I love everything about it. And it's just so real, and I don't have to change anything and just turn the camera on and speak my mind, whether I screw up or not. And I do that quite a bit. And
welcome to one of our lives.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't screwed something up.
What it is. So, you know, it's something that I love, and I don't have to change anything. And I love it. It's natural. I have a great team, and who knows where I'm going? Like, I'm just riding the wave.
Perfect. So, that you can't really do anything better than that, now, can you?
No, I mean, I love it, and to see the way I've done everything without going, oh, I can't wait to hit, you know, I'm going to try to do this with Instagram. I want to do this with YouTube. I never had an agenda. I just said, hey, it's what I'm going to do. Let's start filming. And it just picked up, and I just sort of jumped on and I'm riding it to where it's at. I didn't say, oh, I didn't have a game plan. Oh, I'm going to get into YouTube. I want to do this much. I want to make this. I want to do that. And I don't follow guidelines. You know, guidelines are, oh, you got to make your YouTube videos 14 to 16 minutes, and they have to be put on at this certain time. I fucking make videos as long as they go. I don't have a time. I just make them. They're not the right time. I'd probably be more popular because they'd be shared more because it has certain amount of ad revenue and you know, oh, you put it out. I put them out at 9 a.m, 12 o'clock at night. They're 45 minutes to an hour.
I post stuff at the most random times.
Yeah, and if I wanted to capitalize and it was all I wanted to do, why would I not do what they wanted? I'd have more videos around their time. I would have them posted at the proper time so it would be retreaded or whatever the hell it is. I do it because that's how I do it, and I'm not going to do something because that's what you want me to.
Yeah.
And oh, I'm not getting as many followers or likes. I don't give a shit. You know, I mean, you know,
I refuse to pay for like Facebook advertising. Stuff like that. I won't boost my posts. All our growth is 100% organic, and that's what I want. I want us to grow as proportionately as we should. Our content is improving with every episode. Like, this is a fantastic episode.
Awesome.
You're found huge wealth of knowledge. Like, I
try, because I mean, like I said, I mean, it's something that I have a lot of experience in, and I can sort of just tell you, you know, it's not always right, but it's my opinion.
And I have like this much experience with reptiles, or not reptiles, ball pythons. Like, we just really don't work with them because they're, you know, everyone likes the species that they like, but my boyfriend's super into them, so there's ball pythons in my house for once.
Cool.
But you know, it's I'm still learning about them, because if they're going to be in my care, I'm absolutely going to take the best care of them that I can. So I've been taking crash courses in ball pythons for the last couple months. It's like, how do I breed this? And I do that, blah blah blah. So you know, I'm always trying to learn more and more, and I think that that's the only way to be a successful keeper. And it's nice that you're willing to admit, like, I have no idea about this, so I don't know, but I want to learn about it. And seeing that from someone that's as well known and respected as you is absolutely fantastic, and a huge motivation for new keepers, I think, because you don't know everything, and you're willing to learn more.
100%. And you know what I mean? There's so much to learn, and everything that I'm doing now might not be the best. It's what's best for me now.
Yeah.
If I hear something and I can, you know, like that feeding, if I have access to rats every single day, I may try doing the, you know, feeding 5 very, very small every day and taking 2-3 days off.
Yeah.
I may try that, but I can't. So I can't comment on that. Just like there's certain genes I have no idea about. So I'm not going to sit there and try to make shit up because, oh, I can't look stupid. I am stupid with those genes because I don't know them. I'm not gonna sit there and speak and talk about something I don't know or have no understanding of, because that just goes a totally against everything. You know, if I ask you a question, I want you to tell me because you know, or you have an idea, so I can you know, base my understanding or my opinion of it from your facts or from what you're telling me. If you're just sitting there making shit up, I mean, that's not cool. I wouldn't want somebody doing that to me, so I don't do that to anyone else.
Yeah, perfect.
You know? And if anyone thinks that they know everything, then like, oh shit, like, you know, oh, I don't even know if I want to meet you, you know? You know, I want to figure things out my way and the hard way and from other people's and from my experience. I think that's the best way to learn. But it is also good to learn and listen to other people so you don't make many mistakes or you have a better understanding moving forward.
As I dump water all over myself.
That's all right. Brandon did tell me there was a wet T-shirt contest sometime
Yeah. while you're gone, I was mentioning it.
So
you want to look at tennis balls hanging in socks?
Shit's about to get real.
Mom boobs.
But no, I mean it's this community, this hobby. It's great. I'm glad I'm in it. There were so many times where I didn't know I'd even get to where I am. I never planned. I didn't say, hey, I'm going to just buy some snakes. I'm going to turn into one of the biggest guys in the world and popular. I just did it. And trust me, like we never even knew there was social media when I started. You know, It was like, you know, YouTube, and it was like, you know, there was no fandom on YouTube. It was totally
YouTube
different.
Was wild in the early days.
But I mean, that wasn't my drive. I mean, it's not like I said, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. This took me here just riding the wave, you know? And then it got to the point where it's like, okay, now I've turned it into a business. I know how to turn it and make it more. The more I make, the more I can expand, the more I can buy, the more my collection grows. And I keep reinvesting into it because I love it. I love where it's taken me. Yep. And the more I make, the more I rebuy. I mean, you know, people think that I have everything. Fuck no. You know, not even close.
Yeah, there's like, over 10,000 morphs or something like that?
There's so much. I mean, people are like, you know, I'll buy a collection or I'll buy a bunch of animals. They're like, Billy, you got like 10. Yeah, I want 30. What the fuck you want 30 for? Oh, you just don't get it. You can never have enough. It's like the craziest addiction ever. The more you have, the more you want, the more you want, or the more you have, the more you make, the more you make, the more you sell, the more money you have to buy more. It's like I'm just feeding my addiction. It's crazy, but I love it.
I think that's how you have to feel if you're into reptiles. You have to love it, and you have to have the drive for it.
Yep. And I mean, like, you couldn't be my size, you know, and deal with what I deal with if you didn't love these things. Like, there's no way.
Absolutely.
You know, the money's great, but the shit that you have to do to keep it going and being there all the time and the calls and the advice and just looking at it and go, wow. And, you know, I mean, I open up some tubs, you know, and I'm like, holy shit, what's this? Look, oh my God, I have one of these. Oh my God. Like, wow. Like, you know, it's crazy. I get so excited in my own place. You know what I mean?
Well, those like watching you hatch out that leopard monsoon special, like you did the craziest happy dance ever. You did several happy dances.
Yeah, it was just
no. I'm gonna keep calm. I have to look at it in a second. I think I hit it. No, maybe it didn't.
And so many people like, oh man, you're overacting. Well, first of all, you don't know what the fuck I hit, and two, I never knew I had it. Like, I cut the eggs. How can I see inside them?
Yeah, you can't predict it.
One, it proved that I did have it because I did have an assumption from someone else that, and there was a lot of people saying, no, you just have something else. But it proved to me that I had it. Not only that, it was just like, holy shit. It was just,
I did it.
You know what I mean? Like, how can I stage knowing that it was in there? You can't. And yeah, I mean, it might have been overacting because holy shit, I didn't know what to say. And I'm like doing a live thing without a cut. Like, do I keep going? Like, I didn't know what I should talk about, what I have, and I'll do another. It was just so much at once. That's just how I am. I mean, it wasn't like, hey, Billy, you're going to cut an egg and you're going to see a mon fucking soon. This is what I need you to start going crazy. No, it was like, what the fuck? And then Austin, you know, you didn't see Austin's face, but Austin was like, no effing way. Like, he couldn't believe it because he didn't think I had it. And to prove, like, yeah, you know, you didn't believe me either. It was just like, it was so overwhelming, but it wasn't staged because how the fuck did I know it was in there? But I'll tell you one thing.
You can't stage that.
Yeah, everybody that knew, or if they cut an egg and they saw a monsoon in their collection,
they would have done the exact same.
They'd be fucking jumping around like crazy too, man. It's like, so.
When I had, the very first thing I bred was tokay geckos. So when I produced my first egg, I had a homemade incubator. I was just figuring it out as I went. And I looked inside the incubator, and this little thing's like looking up at me and like, nah! Doing their little tokay thing. And I screamed.
It's amazing. It's incredible.
I had been looking in this thing for months, and all I could see was like a freaking egg. And all of a sudden, this tiny little thing is screaming at me. So I scream, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I did it!"
It's so crazy. Like even to this day, like all my clutches are exciting because you don't know what's in them. And then hitting, those animals that you're shooting for. I mean, it's just so much that you get out of this.
Yeah. I produced my first clutch of snake eggs that I've ever produced myself last year, which was the Madagascar giant hognose, which isn't an easy feat on its own because not many people have had success breeding them.
Breeding them in captivity,
Yeah, so I was super pumped about that. I ended up with 9 hatchlings that hatched out, but as of right now, I got 4 because I've had lots of problems with trying to get them established and other things. It was kind of hard to figure some of the things out because there's a lack of information there. So
yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't understand is just because I hatch eggs and I have babies, I don't have a magic solution to make them eat like I did that video. And with mine, I have so much expertise or experience that I even have to assist feed some animals and stuff. But there's a lot of people and videos on that where new species and stuff that's difficult, like lizards back in the day. It was so hard, like special, like the monitors, trying to get them bred in captivity was hard, but then people would learn, make mistakes, and then they learn. But it's not that easy. It's something where, maybe 2 or 3 years of you doing this now, I learned this, I learned that, I should have did this. It's a stepping stone of learning, but education and experience will get you in 4 years where you're going to be like, oh my God, call Brandon. He's fucking done it all the time. Why can't I do it? Talk to him. He knows. And then you can share that information of where he's screwing up, where you did the same thing years ago. And you can tell them, you should have did this. And then guess what? It makes everybody a better breeder moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to be working with some other people that I know that keep these animals too to create a care sheet because there isn't one.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. This community is driven and driving towards getting more information to people and sharing your experiences, which is the best way to learn is from experience.
Yep.
And share that with other people so that they're not failing over and over and over. Because if you fail every year for 5 years, you're like, fuck this, I ain't doing it. But if somebody just gave you that little push or that little tiny insight, wow, you're like, oh my God, look what I've done. And it sucks where people don't share information and turn someone's passion and instead of pushing them forward, you step on them and push them back by doing absolutely nothing. And it sucks. And that's why I try to be here motivating people. And I'll tell you how it is. I don't have all the answers. I don't work with everything. I don't know everything, but I'll tell you what I do know. And you make the decision from what you get from me or other people, and you decide what's best for you.
Exactly.
So that's how it is. But being around a community that's sharing and looking out for each other, it's fucking amazing. And I hope it just gets better and stronger.
I think it will, especially with the power of social media, stuff like this, where we're just completely praising, being supportive to each other, spreading knowledge within the community. That's the only way we're going to get better. That's the way we produce more morphs, better genetics, all of it. We share as a community, one giant collective brain.
It is. And what's great is when you can go now and you go to, like, I go to a lot of expos. And it's not always ball python. I get to go and I get to look at other animals, get to talk to other people because they know me. And I get to say, hey, wow, what's this? Oh, my God, that's super cool. I get to learn little things about certain animals that I never knew before. And it's like really cool because it might not be something I'm going to get into, but it's something that I can appreciate this cool looking animal, and oh, I didn't know that. Oh yeah, do you know this? And oh no, I didn't know that. That's actually cool. It's fascinating to learn, and it's also good to get your mindset off of ball pythons every once in a while,
Yeah. Well, you could get back into pilbaras, hang out with me.
Yeah, eventually, I mean, I like to have a little room of everything, and I am definitely going to try and attempt, certain things. Like I know Lord of Lion, he's got a bunch of different animals, and he's got like carpet eggs, like eggs from a carpet python, super cool. He had like scorpions and little baby scorpions on the back. I'm like, holy shit, like just got all types of different bearded dragon stuff. He's, got all these different types of animals. And, he breeds them, and it's fascinating, and it's super cool. So, I mean, I like to have that, but I want to be set up, and I don't want to just get them because I have the money. I want to have the proper setup. I want to have the room. I want to have the time to educate myself and have the time to care for them and give them the proper environment. Where like crocodile skinks, I want so bad, but 78 is their max. My room's 81, 82. They would die in there as much as I want them. Why the hell would I put them in there? Like it's just irresponsible, and I'd be an idiot. And all these things suck. Well, they suck because you burned them to death or you killed them. Like they don't suck when you give them improper enclosure, improper temps, improper environment. Like you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You need a smack in the head, Billy. Like, but I know not to do that. So that's why I don't have them as much as I want them. So I do want to have a separate room and have some cool little stuff just so that I can learn and see them and appreciate the beauty and give me something else to learn and just sort of get out of the, the ball python mode once in a while just to go out and say, cool, something different.
Yeah.
But I get to do that at shows. So it's pretty cool that way too.
Yeah, that's the downside to this whole COVID thing is expos aren't on right now until further notice. So
yeah,
we were wanting to go to the Vancouver Island Reptile Expo with the podcast, but it's still a little bit up in the air. The show hasn't been canceled, but as of right now, the city has bans on gatherings over 50 people or something like that. Yeah. So they're likely canceling the show, but if the ban gets lifted, then the show's still on.
We're here in Ontario. You can't be, I think around five people or less gatherings. It has to be 5 or less. And I believe I believe it's even further than that now. I mean, I don't really around anyone except the facility or here, but you can't even go outside and interact with other people unless you're, 3 meters away, 6 feet away from people.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a ticket. So if you're walking with three different people that don't live in your same home and you're not, practicing social distancing, you're getting a $750 and up fine.
Yeah.
Right on the spot.
The way the tickets are working here is if you've been diagnosed with COVID and told by like a medical team that you need to quarantine and you don't, then you will be fined.
Oh, so here in Ontario, if you have if you've been tested and you're positive for COVID and you're out on the street, $750,000 fine. And I don't even think that's good enough. If you have COVID, a deadly virus, and you were told to stay home and you're outside, it should be life in prison, in my opinion.
You're a piece of shit.
Like 100%.
I'm immune compromised. My mom's immune compromised. Brandon's wife is immune compromised. Right. I got really, really sick, and my doctor, like, I had gotten swabbed like the week before for COVID because I had all the symptoms, and I have the immune system of a peasant living during the bubonic plague. And so I got tested. I have severe asthma to begin with, so like high
compromise.
Risk. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. So we got tested, came back negative, and then I got a really, really bad flu, and it just like leveled me for a week. We had an episode to do with the herpetologist. I couldn't even do it. I chimed in with a few comments, but I've never missed an episode on my own show. Like, and for me to be so sick that I'm like, nope, I ain't coming. Nope.
Yep.
Yeah, you missed 2 shows.
Oh, there you go. I missed 2 shows.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, it's like there's a reason why, and the thing is the reason why we're practicing the social distancing is because there's so many people that are symptomatic carriers that don't even know that they have it because they're showing no symptoms, and then it's just going to people that either have it, then they go home and they live with elderly people or people with compromised immune systems, and then all of a sudden now they're getting it and they're getting sick, and it's putting a toll on the frontline workers, the hospitals. It's just like this will go away, but the faster that we do what we do, together, the faster it goes away. And all these people that are out there being idiots, they're the ones that are bitching. Oh, I'm not doing this over the summer. Well, we wouldn't have had to if you stayed home for fucking 14 or 30 days, you idiot.
I went grocery shopping for like the second time in 4 weeks kind of thing. And this was just last week. And at the Walmart, they've implemented, they're only letting, I think it was 175 people in the store at a time. And you have to stand in line outside. You know, you're 6 feet away from the person in front of you. And a guy tried to like budge us in line, and the staff were like, no, like you have to get in line. And like, we were in line for 20 minutes. It didn't even feel like 20 minutes. It was like literally no sweat off my back. And this guy threw such a huge fit that he had to go to the back of the line. He's like, well, I'm not going grocery shopping then. It's like,
bye. Fuck, see ya.
Yeah.
Fuck.
How cranky ass. Like, it's 15 minutes in line. Like, just.
No, I don't know. People are just, I don't know. It is what it is. But I just hope everybody is staying safe no matter where they're watching from. You know, we will get over this. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people, you know, that are going to be affected by this. It is sad, but, you know, it's a reality. And, you know, we're going to get through this, but it's going to be a total different world as we know it.
It's not going to go back to normal.
Like, I mean, it's, you know, certain countries I don't even want to travel to now because of this, where I probably would have.
Yeah.
Certain standards now, like, you know, we always been, because, you know, all the fecal matter all over the planes, and you know, we'd go in and we would swipe and swab everything around us, but now it's going to be even more. I mean, I might be wearing a mask from now on, or while I'm on a plane. Like, it's just, you know, this shit's real and it's happened. It's not like the movies, like, now it's happening. I'm going to take a lot more.
5G radiation poisoning?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, yeah, but
that's my favorite one going around.
It's just, it's nuts. I mean, who knows? The problem is how it started, or what is all the you know, conspiracy theories and shit. I don't know what started or where it is. I don't really give a shit. All I know, it's here, and we got to do what we got to do to get rid of it. And then you know, you can worry about all the you know, conspiracy theories and shit later. That this is real. It's happening. People are dropping dead. Frontline workers are being exposed and putting their lives at risk, you know, so that we can get through this and help the elderly and people that are sick. And it's just, it's crazy when you think about it all. But right. I just hope everybody, you know, practices, you know, what they're supposed to do, and you know, hope it doesn't affect everybody, you know, in such a dramatic way that you can't bounce back. But, you know, there's so many people out there risking their lives every day, and people dropping dead, and it's really sad. But I don't know. It's
crazy nuts. When there's 1,000 people dead in 24 hours.
Yeah, in one city.
From
one fucking
just
city.
A flu.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, 1,000 people don't die in 24 hours from the flu in one town. Sorry.
Yeah, and then in multiple towns worldwide daily.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh fuck yeah, it is a flu type, but not like it's a type. It's a fucking hell of a shitty one that's fucking 10 times fucking stronger. That's happening in real time.
Yep.
Yep.
You know?
It's, you know, I've been through, like, I'm old enough to have lived through SARS, through swine flu, through a lot of this stuff, but this is the craziest one that I've seen. Yep. Like, I was really young for all the other ones, but this is wild as hell. And
we're living in it.
I've never
it's real.
seen the world react to something like this.
No, like, planes are shut down. Restaurants, sports teams. Like, what?
When the hell does Canada cancel hockey? When did that happen last?
Yeah, that's actually nuts.
Yeah, it really
So-
is. I guess we probably should wrap this episode up.
Sure.
We're like
3 hours
mind
and 15 minutes. So Billy, for everybody that doesn't know you, where can they find you on social media and YouTube and whatever?
Yeah, everything's under Mutation Creation or Mutation Creation Canada. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'm there. I have a website, www.mutationcreation.com. Give me a holler, follow me. If I can help out in any way, give me a message. I do get quite a bit, but I do try to get to as many as I can. Don't ask me to follow you. I'll follow you when I see you. And there's something that makes me want to follow you, put some content out, put some work in.
You started following us today.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, you reached out to me. I saw it. I'm like, okay, Canadian, cool. And I saw a few people that I know that followed you. So I hit the like. Everybody else watching, give them a like and a follow. And it's something where I don't sit there and go, I got to follow 30 people today. That's not my goal.
Yeah.
I'll go and I'll sit there and I'll look. If someone messages me, I'll look. If I go to their profile, if they're asking me something, and I look at the thing, who is this? Let me see what they got. They got 2 photos. I'm not following you. I get people saying, hey, man, will you follow me? Please, Billy, follow me. I look and they got 5 posts, and it's a dog and a car. And what the fuck? I don't want to follow you.
Yeah.
Like, I follow people. You know what I mean? You're going to say, oh, Billy's following me. No, I'll follow you. Be proud of when I follow you because you have something that I want to see. You know what I mean? Like, I want to follow you because I want to see what you've done or what you have or where you go. It's not because you asked me to and you got 5 posts.
Yeah.
Or if you have shit that I don't want to see, I'm not going to follow. I don't want to see that on my posts.
So I get like 20 page invites a day. And
it's why? Yeah.
I slowly go through the list. I'll look at your page. If you have really cool animals, stuff like that, I'll give you a follow. If you're just producing like spider ball pythons, like, I'm sorry, you're just another one on the list.
There's a guy, 506 Bearded Dragon. He's from Europe. He follows me. He's got amazing bearded dragons and stuff. I've met him in person. He buys all my shirts. He follows me, comments, supports me. I don't follow him, not because I don't like the guy. It's because I don't want to see bearded dragons. But if I did, I would follow him because he's an amazing guy. So it's not like I pick and choose. Like, this guy here is a great loyal fan. I love him to death. I'll talk to him. I shake his hand. I've seen him. Great follower. But I'm not going to follow him because he doesn't have. It's
not your interest.
But I have full respect for him. I have his shirt. I have his sticker on my sticker ceiling. Yeah, but I don't want to have bearded dragons on my posts. Yep. That's the only reason why. So I talk what I preach, right? Here's a guy that's there for me. Everything, like, he shares my stuff. Amazing. But I'm not going to follow him because he doesn't post. So, you put stuff up there that I want to see and you post and you put some work in, I'm going to follow you. But don't ask me. I will find you, because I'm always on there. I'm always looking. So, put the work in. I did. Why do you get a cheat way that I had to put my hard work in? I get people following me all the time. There's people that I know that don't follow me. I don't go, hey, man, can you follow me? If you want to follow me, I respect that, and I love your follows. But, you'll know me, you'll follow me because you want to, not because I asked you to or you feel like you need to.
Yeah.
So,
my monitor's going crazy. It's like, hey, can you go share this post of mine? Like, if it's engaging, people will share it.
Yeah, I already did beforehand. You never asked me to.
Yeah, I think you're the first guest we've had that did, so that was cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's just something. It's just, you know what I mean?
Steve Rempel did as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and you never asked me. You know what I mean? Like,
no, and like it's really appreciated too because it shows us to a whole new level of people that have never heard of us. It exposes us to people that we aren't able to reach yet. So that's how we grow. Hopefully, some of our followers that don't follow you are clicking the like button on your pages. So it's all about supporting each other.
Correct. Yeah. And like I said, I mean, I can't give you info on other species and stuff that I don't know about. And I don't care to ever try to. That's why you have other guests on here and you know, you're more experienced than this and you're more experienced than that. And you can give your opinion and then you can bring in special guests for that purpose and everybody can learn. And that's what's great.
I was like, ooh, a whole episode on ball pythons. But this has been awesome.
Awesome. I'm glad. Yeah.
It wasn't just an episode on ball pythons. You know, there's been so much information, so much interaction from people. You know,
it's good.
Been really awesome.
Awesome. I'm glad I can help out, and you know, I'm glad for you guys to reach out. That's awesome. I appreciate it. And yeah, it was fun, and everybody that came from all over the world, and you know, watched. I mean, thank you. I mean, I appreciate it. I love everybody's support.
So many different countries.
That's awesome.
That was actually really cool.
That's really cool. That's awesome, guys. Well, I appreciate it once again. Thanks. Stay safe. You guys ever need to reach out or anything, give me a shout, and keep doing what you're doing. And, you know, like you said, small growth, and you'll get there. And it's the learning experience and the fun of getting there.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, it's been a ride, and I couldn't change anything.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, guys. And you guys
have a good night, Billy.
I will.
You have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye. And for everybody that's still watching, you can follow us at chp.podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and we have a YouTube channel now. So all this will be going
Canadian Herpetoculture Podcast. Find us on YouTube. Subscribe. We will be posting this video up there, and don't forget to grab Life by the hemipenes. Finger games. Bye, guys.